Ukraine, Kesha. И слава Украini. Последнюю ночь я не спал. I was awake all night. And I couldn't sleep. And it didn't dawn on me until this morning why. Why I had such a rough time sleeping this weekend. For those of you that have served in the military, there is certain key dates and times where everything just kind of comes together, and your body is going to do things that you don't know about. And this today, make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, this is not about me. This is literally about Ukraine. There is going to be no politics in today's broadcast. Now, Nova, before another single person donates in this chat, I want you to stop. I don't want you to donate anything in this chat today, because if you look down in the description below, you're going to see a PayPal for Chosen Company. Stop it, Chris. And you're going to go over to that PayPal, and that's where you're going to put it. And if I get it confirmed, not that it means a dang thing by the end of this, but I'm single now, so I'm going to do single guy shit. If you guys throw in enough money, I'll do something weird like take my shirt off and rub jelly on. I don't know. Whatever we got to do. Yesterday, I'd gone downtown in Dallas at a friend of mine. It should be in there. If not, we're going to put it down in the chat. It should be in the description. I know I put it over there. Okay. For some reason, it's not down there, so I'm going to pin it at the top of this chat, and I'm going to do it right now. Give me 1 sec while I pin this up to them. That is the PayPal account for Chosen Company. It is pinned at the top of the chat now. Get your butts over there and donate to these folks on the front line. Now, they need help. So I'll do some crazy shit, whatever I got to do. We're going to get some money. But I'm telling you right now, yesterday, I went downtown and I walked up to a pro-Ukrainian rally with a buddy of mine. And I went down there to interview people here in America to see what kind of support Ukraine had. Now, let me tell you what I found. I found a surgeon who we're going to interview and we're going to be raising money for on this podcast. And his team, and you guys will get all this in a little bit, who has gone over there. And right now, this surgeon, American, lived in Ukraine for a very long period of time, American citizen, freaking surgeon, right now is trying to raise money for a tiny little Ukrainian girl who had her eyeballs destroyed because a genocidal maniac decided it would be a good idea to involve himself in Ukrainian affairs and started a war by invading another country. And it's going to end. And it's going to end with victory. Because I'll tell you right now, Russia sure as shit hasn't achieved their objectives. We're going to look over that today. Now, before we get going, I want to open this up because there's something that's going to go up on the wall here. And I'm going to use this handy dandy knife that got gifted to me by somebody on this channel. Somebody from 3AM Forge. I'm just throwing it out there. 3AM Forge. Look at this sucker. True supporter. Awesome guy. Been here for a long time. Laser engraved and everything on there. We'll get there in a little bit. I'm going to take this handy dandy knife and we're going to cut this sucker open. Because inside of here is a flag from Chosen Company. I've been holding on to it. And there's a couple other things in here before we start the day. Ooh, buddy. Oh, man, y'all tape that sucker up tight. And I don't want to cut the flag, so I'm going to be very careful. Nova Poshta really freaking put the hammer on this one, didn't they? All right. There we go. So, there's going to be a couple things here in this bag that I was made aware of that came in it. Once I get it open. Nice. So, we got some company patches. Matt's SF patch is coming off today. It'll be all right. We're going to start supporting our boys here for a minute. Next. I hope I got it all out. I've already got this sucker prepped and ready to go. Before we start getting into the crazy combat videos and everything else, I want you guys to check this out. Look at these boys. Man, I gotta get it up right. There we go. Get this out of the way. Chosen Company ended up gifting this flag up over to the channel so that we can raise money for them, and that is exactly what we're going to do. Had a lot of crap going on in my day, but we're going to make it happen, and it's going up on the wall right now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, even though the camera is a little bit off, I'll have to adjust it here in a bit to make sure that we get it all in angle. You know what I can do? I can put it right here. I can put it right here. And we're going to kick this sucker off right today. So I hope you guys are ready.
Aspiring YouTubers and entrepreneurs, we will help you start and monetize your faceless YouTube channel.
I wanted to make sure I get that sucker hung up really quick. I'm going to make sure it's properly pinned up there. I didn't want to get it down. I always have pants on. Stop judging me. I always got pants on. Now, there is a bunch of Russian trolls down in the chat. Now, mods, normally I would tell you we don't kick people out of the chat, but I think they forgot I don't give a shit today. So every single Russian troll in here, I want him kicked out. I want him gone. I don't want to see a freaking Russian troll or a Russian flag in this chat. They need gone immediately, mods. Get them the hell out of here. Now, a lot of you guys don't know why the Russians don't like me, and that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to know, but we'll get there. But you know what I want to do? I want to let you guys know why they don't like me, because I don't know. I think it's kind of important to let you guys know, maybe, just maybe, what their problem is with me. We're going to take a step back in time.
We are not.
We're not going to go all the way back to 2022 yet. We're going to go back to last year. We're going to go back to last year. That's where we're going. I hope you guys are ready. Of course I would do that. Why wouldn't I do that?
To hold Avdiivka very much longer.
Nope, this is unacceptable. Why did that happen? I told you guys I haven't slept all night, so you have to excuse me. Don't worry. I got this. No, we're not going to do that now, you bastard. Oh, you're going to kill me.
We are not going to hold Avdiivka very much longer.
Hello, you're live.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, I can tell you the situation in Avdiivka is not good on our part. I am telling you, we are trying to hold them back, but they are sending recon teams into tunnels and being able to coordinate attacks that way.
So that's true. They are using tunnels to get in there. I've seen a lot of reporting on it.
They are using tunnels to get into Avdiivka, yes. Yes, sir.
What do you guys need in order to hold them back?
Well, at this point, our leadership does not know because there's a lot of noise that you're hearing as artillery up top. We're trying to get as deep as I can. You can all hear me over my friend's signal. But what we need is confusing because when you send a reconnaissance team into Avdiivka, you can't send armor to deflect them. The holes are too small. The walls are too small that they make. What we can do, however, is use heat-seeking drones and have FLIR, forward-looking infrared, which my unit is familiar with using. However, that costs more money, and we don't want to cost American taxpayers any more than we already have. And we do. When I say we feel terrible that other countries have to come to our aid to win this war, I mean it, sir. I mean it with all of my heart. I wish that we can defend Ukraine by ourselves, but we just cannot do this.
Of course. Yeah, and nobody expects you guys to do it on your own. And it's...
I can say that we went on our own reconnaissance, and the holes that they are digging are trapped to the point where we only got about 50 meters in, and inside their hole, the tunnel that they dug, are digged, or however you say that word, and it's trapped to where they can only get through. They only know the route that they make, and we do not know the route back through the hole. Get back up to the ground.
There is reports coming out right now that say that you only have one supply line left going into Avdiivka. Is that true?
I would not say one. I would say three. I would say two or three. I would not say one.
Sure.
But things change very quickly, as you know, on the battlefield, especially being in special operations yourself.
Sure. Yeah, it's man. Fuck, that's a shitty situation, man. I'm sorry you're in there. But you guys are doing a damn good job.
No, don't be sorry for me at all. I want to be here. I want to, if I die, I want to die with my plate carrier on, with my flag on my plate carrier, and with Ukrainian blood on the ground.
Of course. But what I don't want you to die because of is that we didn't get you guys the artillery shells and everything else that you need in order to keep those idiots back. And
it is a little strange that we were promised. Hold on. Strach.
Yes. It's okay.
Artillery. Давай. Okay. Вибачте for that. The main problem is that we just don't know the weapons to counter them getting into Avdiivka. Hopefully, the artillery can die down just a little longer. They'll hit us very hard, then they'll stop for a little while, hit us very hard again, and then stop. And that's called we call that sporadic shooting.
So that, yeah, and we call it like probing, where they'll start shooting at you and launch tiny little attacks.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. To figure out where you're at and then attempt to adjust from there.
Well, hopefully they didn't find out where our boys were at that time, because they stopped so soon. So hopefully they did not destroy a outpost or a tactical operations center. And I don't mean any threats by this at all, sir, but I offer Misha to call in and to give his career, because I started in the Marine Corps for the 36th Brigade, 501st Battalion in 2014 year. And then I went to Special Operations, the Q course, for 9 months in 2016. Mm-hmm. I went to a regiment. I was assigned to a regiment, and now I'm in the regiment Special Missions Unit.
That's awesome, man. I actually helped to establish that Q course that you went through. Did you like it?
I've heard. I feel like were you there in 10 Special Forces groups, or?
Yes.
I feel like I may have seen you. I don't want to say that online, but I was in the first candidates to go through the Q course.
Were you? Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, do you remember being outside the chow hall and me saying "G'day, moi slavi человек"? And you guys answered back, in the Kazarma. I died laughing so hard. Oh man, the spirit of you guys. And we put you guys through the damn ringer, man. We beat the hell out of y'all, and the ones that came through was amazing.
When he said we want you to make a fire in 3 to 5 minutes, and if we don't make the fire, we're going to take more of your belongings away from you. And I was like, well, shit, I don't think I can make a fire with what I have. My father was Russian Spetsnaz. He taught me a lot growing up. But I don't think I can make a fire in 3 to 5 minutes, sir. He said, well, you better do what you can, or we're going to start stripping our belongings.
Yeah.
They were not fucking around. They took our belongings.
Dude. Yeah, I have no doubt. No, you guys were awesome. The ones that came through, you guys were awesome. You guys did great, despite all the bullshit that was happening.
It's an honor to hear that from you.
No, it makes me happy that you're still going. I wonder about you guys all the time, man.
It's an honor to hear that from you, sir. I wanted to call about the Avdiivka because people think that we are going to hold the city. This is the next Bakhmut. We are the next Bakhmut. We are not going to hold Avdiivka very much longer.
Fuck.
It's just not going to happen.
Man, I wish I was there next to you, man.
I agree. Wholeheartedly.
I would happily die alongside you. That's
That's an honor, sir.
Likewise. Dude,
But I have to go for now. We have a mission planning coming up.
yeah.
I just wanted to give a quick call. Friend said you were live, so I wanted to call while I could.
Thank you.
He uses signal and calls you, and then puts it on speaker, and then I call his signal, and then he puts it on speaker. So I want to make sure that my voice is clear.
Very.
Good. Добрый. Well, I will get off here and let Adam continue typing, and I will get off here and do mission planning and try to see how to mitigate the issue with the tunnels, on how to mitigate the issue in Avdiivka.
Good luck, my friend. Stay safe and kill as many as you can.
Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.
I will do this.
Now, what you guys don't know about V, I'm going to tell you. I do have stories of certain Ukrainians that I can talk about, but this one, for whatever reason, it's not the last call, no. But the reason I like telling that story about V is because of where he was at and what was happening at the time. That man, first of all, let me tell you about his journey. I'm going to tell you guys about V's journey. This man was serving in the Azov before he showed up for the Special Forces selection course that we established for Ukraine. What you see the current special operations doing around Ukraine right now, all of the freaking Ukrainian special ops guys that are running around, this is why Russia hates me. Because I'm sitting here telling you that they suck. Russians are POSs, and they're just going to continue to die. And if my ass and my friends weren't over there doing what we did, Russia would be in a different spot. And that's not to give me kudos, because I'm about to tell you exactly what we put V through in order to get his butt into Avdiivka. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that man did when he was there. And you're going to listen to it. So I want you to listen to the hell that we put these men through to make sure he was on the front line killing Russians, because we all knew it was coming, whether or not anybody back here didn't. And I see you guys in the chat that are saying, I've been drinking. I haven't. There's not a drop of alcohol in this house, and there hasn't been since I moved in here. Nor did any alcohol go in my body yesterday. So you can get that out of your head. Sometimes people just have problems in life, man. Not everybody copes the same way as you. Now, to get on with V, please keep the chat respectful, ladies and gentlemen. To get on with V, these dudes started off with like 200 guys trying out. They didn't know what the hell they were getting themselves into. We whittled them down to under 40. Under 40 by the time they finished selection. We beat the living hell out of them, and they kept going, and V kept going after he graduated. So now, sitting up next to my Ukrainian flag from Chosen Company, as it's always been there, is this gift I had been given from Ukrainians, and I do remember the little ceremony that we ended up having in order to make that happen. And when I started talking to V, you guys heard about him on the podcast. And we didn't tell you a lot of shit because he was still alive and he was still on the front line. This, however, was after, and I mean after, funding was already screwed up for Ukraine. Our weapons production was screwed up. We made so many mistakes as Americans to help them out. We let politics affect people's lives in a very clear-cut case of right and wrong. Wrong being Russia invaded another country. We had an entire freaking war about this shit from the 1940s all the way up until the damn Soviet Union collapsed. We went into North Korea. We went into freaking Vietnam. We had the Cuban Missile Crisis. All because of Russian aggression, stopping the spread of communism. We did all of those things to stop the spread of communism. And it worked. The world prospered. America prospered. God forbid we do that today. So this man is on the front lines because of our mistakes that we made as a country, without any supplies, cut off. And this man that you just heard from got on the phone with me over Signal, and we did our best. And when I say we did our best, I'm about to tell you why Avdiivka got overran. And this is something the Russians don't want to know. But I'm going to make another confession to the Russians. Kiss my ass. Come at me, bro. There was one night in particular, right before the Russians got really pissed off, right before they got really pissed off and decided to go overrun Avdiivka, that some Ukrainians snuck behind their lines, took out easily 150 of them in their sleep. And we're not talking about a lot. We're talking about maybe 10 guys that were being led by that man that you just heard. And I sat there and I planned this op out with him over the phone to make sure that we had amazing minds on it. I called in frickin' favors. I don't know if you guys remember hearing on the podcast about a helicopter that got shot down over there. I called in favors, Russia, because your helicopters were flying over the cities and nuking civilians. Not soldiers, civilians. On purpose, running out through the field. So we got rid of them. And we got your pilot. And that, my friend, was not even the kick in the pants. The kick in the pants was when they were busy sneaking through their underground tunnels. V and his buddies, who were all volunteers, ran over behind the lines and schwacked over 100 of you pieces of shit in your sleep. You civilian murdering nut jobs got schwacked in your sleep because you're fat, lazy, undisciplined. And I knew it, and he knew it, and we took advantage of it. And all your tanks that got destroyed, guess who told them how to do it to make sure they got taken out? Me. And it doesn't take a lot. And we made damn sure of it. But let me keep telling you about V. Because his story didn't end that night when he turned around after they got all of them. V got wounded that night when the Russians finally woke up and stopped sucking each other off in their giant frickin' Ruski circle jerk. Got it together. He ended up getting wounded and fragged. And he was laying there by himself for an entire flipping day. And that night, his men went back behind Russian lines and massacred more of them to get V out of there. For one man. You know how many Russians I see walking out in open fields and putting an AK in their mouth and pulling the trigger? You got men walking in open fields, putting AKs in their mouth and pulling the trigger and fighting with Mosin Nagants. How do you think this is going to turn out for you? Then he went back, and V sat there. And he remained in command and refused to leave after he was giving the orders to leave. Sent me a message over Signal, and truthfully, I don't feel like I can play it right now. It's been a long freaking night thinking about the amount of aid that Ukraine is about to get from support from this channel and from everybody else in the United States of America, because I'm going to make damn sure of it. And if you can find me when I go over there in the very near future, Russia, you are welcome to grab your balls and try and come and get my ass again. I dare you. V died a flipping hero. He didn't leave that town because he promised the civilians that Russia was murdering, that he wouldn't leave them there. That was V. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we're not done yet. We're just getting warmed up. Today, we're just getting warmed up, because now what we're going to do is we're going to enjoy, for just a little bit here, some sweet, succulent, Chosen Company footage. And again, if you would like to donate to them, pinned at the top of the chat is the GoFundMe. These are the guys that you are funding. You're not gifting shit inside of here. You are clicking on that link at the top of the chat, and you are sending money to these men. These men that you are about to see on the screen.
I've got a broken leg, you don't realize. No, I'm good, just go.
I hope you heard what he said before they even got after it. Got a broken leg.
Alpha, do you have eyes on Charlie? Alpha, do you have eyes on Charlie?
That's not it.
How many we got injured? How many come back?
Like when I first got to the unit, that first night, getting woken up 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, I don't remember, but some of the guys that were on the op started, they came into our bunkers and that's when they started filling us in, talking about how they got fucked up, that it was, the operation had basically become chaos. We found out that out of the 40 plus guys that went out, they had like 26 casualties with 2 KIA. And so right then and there, you know, within my first 72 hours of being in the unit, it was kind of a stark reality check, you know, that this is what we're fighting.
Op Shovel. This is our 3rd mission attacking a trench. This was like what we trained for the most and what we're, I guess, most comfortable with. It's a nickname we gave it because on the drone footage there was a shovel on top of the bunker there, so we gave it a name everyone could recognize.
Well, originally we were supposed to attack the PKM position. I said, fuck that, let's hit them The whole blow past the uterus joke, I asked Kozak. Kozak said we were crazy, but is it possible? I was like, yeah, we can do it. Our whole goal there was to cut off like a 8 or 12 man Russian position and then kill everyone behind them or capture them. And basically the Ukrainians would then push a like 6-man team forward and hopefully get the guys to surrender. Because like the guys in this position were like contract soldiers. They weren't Storm Z. They were experienced guys that, you know, they wanted captured.
About a week prior to when we were actually expected to conduct the assault, we did 2 route reconnaissance, and we went out there to essentially assess the route, make a determination on, you know, if the passage was going to be feasible for the Humvees, just because some of the pathways were severely deteriorated from falling down trees, craters, and various other obstacles. So we had to go out there and do the assessment, and then also kind of get eyes on the objective. And because of my experience in the Army with driving Humvees, I figured that even though it sucks being a driver and kind of having a limited participation in the assault, it got me on the mission, and that's what I wanted.
So basically we were going to hop in Humvees, drive past the 0 line to hit a secondary line, and hopefully the Humvees would drive back out.
Yeah, minimal time with the Humvees, because the Humvees would immediately draw fire and draw attention, which works for the infill, because now like the Humvees are armored. So once we get out, like people are just going to shoot at the biggest thing out there, which is the Humvees. So that's
Appreciate
fine.
it,
You know, it's like, so like those would
Promise
take up fire, and with the speed and aggression, and with us leapfrogging, nobody expects that, because they always expect the frontmost position to get hit. With us just going right to the rear, like those guys, like they weren't
threw
ready.
them off. They didn't. Yeah, the Russians didn't have a clue what the hell was going on.
The plan was, because it was like a right angle shaped trench, the plan was to do like a pincer movement and sort of like meet up in the middle, kind of.
Shovel being on the corner, it was like an L-shaped trench. And then the Russians, their forward position, 105, was approximately 50, 60 meters west of Shovel, and was shaped largely like a Y or a T. And that was their fighting position. And we believe Shovel was their rest area.
The idea was crazy, but like implementing it, like doing the planning preparation and then training for it, we actually went and found a trench that was similar in size and scope that we could train on. Because on this one, because what we were doing was, I guess, sketchy, I guess you want to put it, we were going to actually assault the trench from 2 directions, because there was like 20-some Russians in the fucking thing. So it was basically, we were going to pincher them so that we'd funnel them all into one area, and then you could just throw grenades at them all day until they're all dead. Initially, the 59th, our commander Kozak, got drone footage. We looked at it like for a day or 2, and then we found out there was a bunch of anti-tank mines. So Kozak went to the 59th Brigade, like the engineering guy.
And I want you guys to think about this too. Like, let me get up here on the screen for a sec. And because these guys, let me tell you about the balls of steel they have knocking out this assault. Look at the dang terrain. Look at the terrain. And these men are working with bare bones crap. I just told you that I need you to send them money to help them continue to do stuff like this. And look at that terrain. Look at how pitted out that ground is. Every single tree over there is missing its frickin' top because it's been blown away by artillery and war. Think about what they're about to do.
Guys, and they had the Miklik. We got the mines all taken out for the anti-tank. Most, yeah. Well, we thought we hit them all.
And so we looked at ways of how can we sufficiently pack enough dudes on the Humvees that we had to conduct this operation. I pitched the idea, you know, like, what if we just took the back hatches off and stuck guys in the back. You know, you could take the hatches off there. It's pretty easy. You just gotta do some unbolting and then, you know, pretty much just lift them. And we kind of evaluated it, and eventually that's what we decided to do.
So the problem we were running into is we didn't have enough room in the Humvees, so we got the bright idea to pull the hatches off the back of the Humvee. I mean, the Ukrainians were like, you guys are stupid, but predominantly because you have an armored vehicle that you're now putting people in an unarmored spot. But like I didn't think we were going to be able to do it with 8 guys or 10 guys, so we needed to get, you know, more guys in the trucks. It was the only thing that we could do. They offered if we wanted like an open top Humvee. Like some of our videos, you'll see us assaulting with like a 2-door Humvee that's completely open. We turned that idea down just because we thought we were going to get smashed on the way in. Because like you're bypassing a...
All right, I just pinned it up to the top of the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I just pinned it up there. It's now at the top of the chat. Chosen Company's PayPal account. Stop donating memberships. Stop putting money in the chat. Click on the link and donate the money to Chosen Company. Please. I'm begging you.
Russian position, so all they have to do is turn and, you know, spray an open top Humvee and you're fucked.
For this operation, we worked with the Ukrainians. They had an assault team as well. And the idea for this operation was, so there were 5 Humvees. Chosen Company was in the first 3, and the Ukrainians were in the last 2. The plan was to drop off at both positions simultaneously. I was in the 3rd Humvee, like 3 assault teams, 2 assault teams, but split up into 3 Humvees. So the idea was the Ukrainians would stop at their position and we would stop at shovel at the same time and dismount and attack both positions. This would make sure that the Russians in 105 couldn't fire at us while we attack, and that the Russians couldn't fire at the Ukrainians as they attacked. So we had them both occupied at the same time.
When we finally got the call that, you know, mission was a go, we had a couple things that we had to do in terms of, you know, final preparations, staging points. And I remember we got to the very last staging point, got into the wood line, concealed the trucks, and got into the trenches that were there with the Ukrainians. And it was almost like a heartwarming moment because the Ukrainians that were occupying that trench, they had some potatoes and they cut them up and, you know, made like some homemade fries for us. And so here we were just hours before we were about to conduct the assault, and it was like the Last Supper hosted by, you know, our friendly Ukrainians.
The mood for the shovel op was generally quite good. People were just really psyched because we had actual drone footage of like Russians in this actual fortified trench that we were going to assault. With Pervo 2, it was more a series of assaults that needed to be conducted over like a larger amount of ground, and there wasn't Russians in all of these positions, or we hadn't seen Russians in all of the positions. Whereas shovel was more of what I would call like an intimate situation. We knew 100% we were going to go and kill some fucking Russians that day.
Yeah. Ready, boys? Slava Ukraini! Oh, it's about to get spicy.
Eventually, we did get the call on the radio that the operation was a go, conduct the assault. We mounted up and exited the tree line and started the drive towards the 105-106 position. And driving the first vehicle, it kind of, I could, in that moment, feel the weight of responsibility kind of weighing down on my shoulders, you know, that this is my first mission in Ukraine, and the guys are relying on me to not get us lost, to make sure that I take the right paths and that I don't veer off the proven route. And so as soon as we departed and started heading, I could feel the anxiety start to build up. And then as we're making turn after turn, turning into tree lines to cross over into a new path, I could feel it build up. And as we're getting closer and closer,
He's good? What a day! What a lovely day!
The route there was really fucking bumpy. Obviously, the closer we got to these positions, the more shell-pocked the ground was. Lots of debris everywhere. It was, the closer you got to the position, the more it looked like you were driving into hell.
600 meters!
we made that final turn, the final turn to where from there it was essentially just a straight shot. And at that moment, it was shock. This final stretch in front.
Guys, look at what they're driving in across that terrain. Look at what they're driving in and what they're working with to go assault those positions. Look at the damn trees. Holy cow. Hook these gentlemen up, ladies and gentlemen. Get up there. I pinned it down in the comment section below of this video, so now you can find the link where to donate to these gentlemen, and it's pinned at the top of the chat for you.
Front of me, and how it looked nothing like what I remembered from the drone footage, and how badly the drone footage translated to what I actually saw in that final turn. And then it was at that moment that it, you really clicked in and just started driving.
We had 3 drop-off locations. My Humvee, the rear Humvee, was going to stop at the beginning of the trench. The middle Humvee, the center in the corner, and then the front Humvee was going to stop towards the end of the trench past the L. So we're already taking RPG and mortar fire as we're rolling up to the trench.
Fine.
I remember I was driving, just going focused, completely focused, looking, no mines. And then our medic who sat behind me just started yelling, "Stop, stop." And so I just slammed the brakes.
Go!
And shortly after we came to a stop, I felt and heard an explosion behind us. And then I couldn't see anything. Just dirt and smoke just covered our Humvee. And what I actually saw in that.
Look at what the hell they're riding in, ladies and gentlemen. Look at what they're in. And look at what happened. People look at this and they go, "Oh, that's an up-armored Humvee." You know what that's good for? Breaking down. Breaking the F down, and they're freaking death traps over there.
That final turn, and then it was at that moment that it, you really clicked in and just started driving.
We had 3 drop-off locations. My Humvee, the rear Humvee, was going to stop at the...
And then our medic who sat behind me just started yelling, "Stop, stop." And so I just slammed the brakes.
Go!
And shortly after we came to a stop, I felt and heard an explosion behind us. And then I couldn't see anything. Just dirt and smoke just covered our Humvee, and I had no idea what just happened.
I see the Humvee in front of me just blow up in a cloud of smoke and dirt. I'm thinking, oh fuck, they've hit an AT mine. Everyone in it came out okay, some light injuries, but you know, they still survived and they still fought. We enter the trench after the Humvee, we start fighting. We don't know it at this time. We're taking fire from the other trench where the Ukrainians are meant to be. It turns out that their Humvee drivers dropped them a few hundred meters short of the objective. So the poor buggers had to run a few hundred meters all the way to the trench and then start fighting. But until in that time that it took them to get there, the Russians were sort of thinking what the fuck is going on and started, you know, firing at us, launching RPGs and shit. In my GoPro footage, I didn't notice it until recently, but you can see an RPG fly right across my head at the top of the screen. But because we were so fast and effective to get into the trench, as soon as we got into cover, they couldn't do anything.
I at first thought in the confusion that it was our Humvee that had been hit. I looked around, saw that all my guys were okay, but like I sort of realised we've got to get to the fucking trench at this point. So without the tactical bound, I kind of just moved forward.
And I also want you to think about what those gentlemen just said. A few hundred meters across that open terrain. And I don't know if you know this or not, but machine guns, they have this thing that's called grazing fire that you normally set them up in. And when you have bunkers and crap like that, that's what you get. You get grazing fire going across that open area. And these machine guns just go back and forth across that open area. It sits about a meter off the ground, typically, is where you want that sucker aimed. And those guns are just pouring lead down range that whole time.
Push up! We got
I get around the vehicle, Finian was there, Dodo was there, Zeus fell off the Humvee, and basically from that point it was just start the assault. So we pushed the assault from there. Basically I yelled at the guys, get the fuck up, let's move. The third vehicle at that point was also dismounted. So their team leader, Dave, basically looked at me, I said push, push. On our side, so they pushed their guys forward, I helped get our guys up and moving. At that point, the driver's weapon had gotten blown up in the Humvee. So I basically threw my rifle to Dodo, and from that point on, I just ran with grenades and a radio on an assault. Not the brightest idea, but...
I looked around, the guys are getting out. I was like, okay, you know, everything seems fine, I think we're good. And then once I saw that everyone, the guys that were in the boot of my truck, as well as all the passengers had gotten out, they started getting online in front of me and conducting their bounding to get into the trench. That was my cue to go ahead and start leaving, because you can't sit there with the vehicles long. You have to get in, dump troops, and then get out as quickly as possible. Shortly after we left, I remember I was driving, I was looking for the path that I came in on so that I could ride the tracks back out. And I was going, focused, and then all of a sudden I just felt another explosion, and then the inside of the cab just filled with smoke. And so at that moment I was like, what did we just get hit by? So once we got to our staging point with the two Humvees, we started concealing the Humvees, and then I started talking to Shaggy, and you know, trying to just kind of, even in that moment where it just happened, you're already trying to look back and kind of talk about what just happened. And then that's where we could see that our Humvee, the turret, actually took a hit from an RPG. and you could see where it penetrated on the left side of the turret, but then went through, double penetrated the turret and detonated outside of it. When we were looking at the turret, we knew which side it got hit on, at what point we got hit, and the angle that it came from and the direction, it was about 450 meters to the next Russian trench. And so when I realized that, the only thing I could think about was, you know, these dudes came to play. I mean, hitting a moving Humvee from 450 meters with an RPG and unguided rocket, it's not an easy shot to do.
Frag out! Reloading! Go to fucking left! Let's go!
My team dismounts, so does the other team. So we had Alpha and Bravo group, and we both enter the trenches from different ends.
Got to the edge of the trench and started prepping frags ready to chuck in, make entry into the trench. There was still a lot of confusion. Obviously it was loud as fuck. Like guys were shouting. Yeah, it was just pure chaos at first. Lots of explosions going off, all that good shit.
Hurry up! Frag it! Frag the trench to there! Moss, he's right there! He's right fucking there! Fuck! Moss, he's on the other side. Cover me, cover me! We need to get in the fucking trench, boys! Frag out! Go! Go to the left! Go to the left! Hey! He's here on the left, be careful! He's here on the left, be careful! Where? Here, right here on the left.
Managed to get into the trench, so I started to pie the corner.
Mossy's hit! Man down! Man down!
And my operation unfortunately ended like relatively quickly.
Where? Man down! Entrance to the trench! Oh, right there. Can't see that message. Stay still. Roll back! Took a hit to the head.
At first I thought I'd been blown up because everything just went fucking slow motion. Next thing I know, I'm looking down at my feet and then I feel myself topple back and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. I thought in that moment that I was dead. There's a bit of a joke around the company that people say to me, am I dead? Because that was the first thing I asked after I'd been hit.
Mossy, stay where you are! You're not dead! Get Mossy, you're not dead!
After asking my boys if I was dead and then answering no, I was like, yeah, this is fucked. I think I might be paralysed. And then after about 5 minutes, the pain started to kick in throughout my whole body. So I was relieved to feel the pain, but it was pretty fucking bad pain. So, and I still
And like, let's pause here and remember why we're doing this today. One, I understand it was on the 22nd. But no, everybody, this is shit. What they're dealing with is shit. If they were better funded, they would not be in the position which they are currently in this video. Think about that, man. Think about it.
I couldn't move very well, but I could move, so I kind of realised in that moment I wasn't paralysed. All was not lost. Guy that had shot me from about 20 metres away down the trench, he was sort of like Haji firing over the top of the trench. You've probably seen videos of how the Taliban do it in Afghanistan, how they lift the guns up and spray over the top of the trench. Yeah, that's how this dude got me. He was already injured, but he was fighting on. He wasn't giving up too easy. So he was putting bursts of ammo over the top of the trench. He also hit one of our dudes in the head, like very shortly after.
Go back! I took a hit to the head. Must you stay still?
He luckily only grazed our friend's head, so didn't put him out of the game.
I got a sign on their bunker, I can frag it!
That guy actually then went on to kill that guy with a frag. You've probably seen it in the drone footage. He threw a frag down the trench. The guy leant over to pick it up and blew himself up.
We get into the trench and we start clearing it.
Weapon up, weapon up. Let's go, boys, we're good.
A bit of a 20-meter length of trench. There's a little, not a bunker, but it's a spot with overhead protection.
Get down, get down, get down!
I was second man in, behind the first man, right behind him, and he's trying to get into the little dugout, and he's struggling. And as he struggles, I'm looking forward with my weapon up, and I see this Russian's head pop around the corner, and I say, "Oh fuck!" And me and my mate shoot him.
Weapon up, front!
I'm good.
And then he disappears around the corner, so we don't know what happened to him at that point. So we do all of that, we push forward, and we hold security on the front, and then me and my other mate clear around the trench.
Get in, get into that corner, push like Tennessee. That's friendly double. Over here. Frag out! Frag out!
I'll get him.
We dropped one. I am fragging in front of him. Ready? Frag out! Yeah.
I'm too fucking heavy.
Okay, shot. Who's with me? Get a grenade in there, eh?
Who's with me?
Tennessee's back behind you.
Nothing's behind me, there's a shot right here.
You okay? Hold front, hold front.
Okay, Tennessee, you're gonna advance forward. I'm gonna start shooting casualty in here. Okay, okay.
Someone get to Jay! Get to Jay!
Where is he?
Fucking that one, I'm right behind you.
So that's clear there. We frag it, clear it. It's that side of the trench is clear, and then we push forward to where the bunker is. So we reach our limit of advance, and now we're waiting for the other team. The dude that we shot just then was laying dead face down in the trench. He had no weapon, no body armor, no helmet, because his weapon was right next to me when I shot him. There was a PKM there, and he wasn't quick enough to go get it. So unlucky for him, because we were already there. That's why it's so important to be quick in these situations. We had no communications with Alpha Team or Alpha Group. We had no idea what happened, what's happened to him.
Oh, I love it. And this is not for everybody that's over on YouTube right now, or maybe it is the people that are listening on YouTube. You know, somebody just commented up over on Twitter, and they said, I'm not donating money to Ukraine. That sounds like a Zelensky problem, not a USA problem. Well, sir, let me tell you why you're wrong. Because since World War II until the collapse of the Soviet Union, we had doctrine in this country to stop the spread of communism. Sir, we lost so many lives doing that for so many years. And not just America, but the world prospered. So just because your government fails to act and do things correctly doesn't mean that it can't be done. Look at the amount of money that Doge just saved the United States government. And I'll tell you what right now, man, and I think we ought to do this. I think I'm going to figure out a way to make it happen. I think I'll just get the paperwork done and make it happen. Because right now, you know what? I got an idea. We're going to take a break in the stream real quick. We're not going to break, but I've got an idea. Doge had just announced, or they're considering it, with all of the money that they're saving from all of this waste and BS spending, stopping circumcisions in other countries that we don't need to spend our money on. I have an idea. Because right now they're talking about cutting a $5,000 check for every single taxpayer in this country. What if we went ahead and made life really, really easy? Really, really easy. And we got ourselves a nonprofit together, or a way to make sure that the money is going to chosen company. And we just told Americans, dude, you don't have to do ish. If you don't need this $5,000, or if you don't want this $5,000, or if you can live just fine how you are, take that check as soon as it comes to you and put it straight into these boys. I think that's something we're going to have to make happen. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think that's a good idea.
Keep moving out! We gotta get out of the open! Why'd you took the hit? Bunker! Bunker! Got it. Get down there! Get down there! Get off his arm! Got it spread out! Pull him up! Pull him up! Pull him back! He can't get into position the wrong way! Got locked head. Where am I hit? Nah! Kick your legs, bro!
Again, if they were properly funded, that man wouldn't be laying there.
Kick your legs! I can't move him. I'm gonna frag that forward bunker! Get long! Hey, get long! Get long! I can't. Good. You're good, bro. You're good. Get long! Holy crap! Fucking moss! Send you out, bro. Just ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Wait, take that position. Watch out, there's 2 bunkers. Put chest on around them. It's good, it's good. Cover the long threat. I have you.
Oh, and I see it in there where people are like, until they can account for that. That's fine. I mean, you can have that stance, but I'm telling you right now, that money is going to these men who are putting their lives on the line, not the government. That link that I shared for you guys goes directly to these men who are underfunded and assaulting Russians through open terrain in broke-ass Humvees, charging trench lines because they don't have any better options. So if you're not about funding the corrupt government and you're cool with sending money to Ukraine, you just got your way, you can put your money where your mouth is.
Kevin, get the radio!
Kevin, radio. No! No radio. The other one.
It's in and out. My legs are moving. Push it, push it! Legs are moving, but it's good. Good palm for me. Yeah.
Ollie, got a frag right here. Here.
Cover me! I've got it, he's out, he's out.
Drone. Suicide drone.
Turn the fucking gas head on! Very quickly, get up. Arm up. Arm up.
Stop it. Fuck.
Power, bro. Bro, it's okay, it's okay, we'll get you out. Promise you we'll get you out, bro.
To the right, to the right. Ollie. Ollie, you're 2 o'clock. You're 2 o'clock.
Mossy, stay still. Got it.
No, I shot there, but I don't think I got him.
Keep pressure on it, bro. You're good. It's not bleeding out. Yeah. It's stopped bleeding. It went in and out, mate. You've got a nick, all right? It's literally a nick. You're good. All right? It's a nick, Mossy. We're getting you out.
Drone.
Get in my bag and find the fucking EW.
Where's your D-sack?
I'm on top of it. There.
Get up, Mossy.
I can't move.
Mossy, which one's on?
Main pouch, bro.
Yeah, I've got it. Which one is on?
Right.
It's on.
Face them at the drone. Big. Right. Outside button is turn it on.
It's on. It says 100%.
Yeah, and then face it. Right. Just. When you see a drone.
Obviously, I was like physically, I was taken out of the game, but I did what I could to try and keep in the know, sort of. Like I can't just relinquish complete responsibility just because I've been hit.
Man down, Mossy's hit. Man down, Mossy's hit. Delta 1.
Yeah, Ollie's calling for you up there.
Bro, would you fuck me? Someone swap places.
Right.
Here, give me that.
Radio.
Take the radio with you and go up there, Kev.
Go in.
Give me that. Fuck, I just got hit in the head. Give it. It's right to the left. Is it on?
Ollie! I'm here, bro.
So there's a bunker to the right of us. There's 2 guys in it.
Your arms here. Keep your arms here.
No, like, pull my body up.
Alright, hurry. Ready? Alright. Put your legs here. Other leg.
Can you rest me up against the wall?
Trying. Alright, pulling you towards me.
So I was still asking for sit reps. I was still talking to my guys, finding out what was going on with them. Every time artillery hit the trench or whatever, I was checking up on them. I was still trying to give orders to people where I could, based on what I could see and based on the sit reps I was getting. So yeah, you can't completely give up just because you've been hit.
Grenade in, grenade out, frag out.
Stay low, stay low.
Stop it! Stop it! My weapon's fucked! Give me a weapon!
My PK's right behind you.
Grab that grass.
Give me a rifle!
Get to that grass.
Grunt!
Moving forwards.
They're over there, they're over there.
No one's in there. There's an F1 in there.
My side of the trench is basically chuck as many grenades as you can, get in there. Once we breached the trench entrance, I had two guys in front of me, Tennessee and Dave. A Russian actually came running from a side bunker and got schwacked immediately. Like, dude didn't have a fucking clue where he was, what was happening. Like, so like the surprise element worked 100%. Swede shoots like the first two guys, just drops him like a sack of potatoes. The third guy, I was yelling surrender in Russian to him. He got into our trench. I figured he was gonna sit down, but instead of sitting down, he realized, I think he realized at that point that we were not friendly troops. And even after yelling at him, he just turned around and ran back out of the trench.
Because you were saying, grab that guy, surrender, hey, get back here.
Yeah.
And the guy ran out to go get the other guy's rifle.
So we had a guy in our unit, a Ukrainian, one of the platoon sergeants, whose call sign was like similar to, Steech. But like, he thought I was yelling Steech at him, and I was really yelling stop, surrender. So that's why he was saying what the fuck, because he thought he had just shot our Ukrainian unit. Because so like when we attacked the trench, we attacked the second line of the Russians, and we had a Ukrainian unit attacking the first. So he thought the Ukrainians had pushed up to us and that he just accidentally killed a Ukrainian. But in reality it was fucking Russians. So yeah, he was a little confused. It took him, I don't know, 20 seconds to realize like, nope. Yeah, once he looked over, saw the Z patch, was like, okay, game's back on. And when the guys ran back out of our trench and didn't surrender, it was like, all right, drop them. So we dropped them.
Right, find the med bag. There's a grenade in it. We need the grenades.
I've got grenades in my dump pouch. Give him the rest of the fucking grenades.
Here.
Yeah, my operation didn't completely end there. I would say I spent the rest of it pretty much giving target indications to one of our guys, Dirty P. He was our machine gunner. I was giving him target indications for drones in the air to shoot down with the EW. It's a lot harder to give a target indication to something against like just a plain blue sky than it is something on the ground, so that was pretty tough, especially after you've just been shot in the neck.
Stay still. We got you covered.
In between position, in between Ukrainians and you, 3 Russians in the foxholes. They're not in the trench, in the foxholes. They copy.
Hey! Yo! You have 3 guys between us and Ukraine! Say again! 3 Russians front! Front! Do you have grenades? In my pouches. Here. No, here, belt. One down.
Are they close?
Yes. Go.
And then there was like 3 other ones that fucking found like a little artillery shell scrape to lay in. There was some shooting back and forth for a little bit, and then Zeus hit him with a grenade.
I'm hearing them 12 o'clock. Yeah, down here. Yeah. I have to rest my arm for a second.
Hey, Fitting, you got comms with them?
No radio, mate, no radio.
What about voice?
Where are the rest of the guys?
Wait, I'll get comms. Yo. Hey? No, we got no comms with Delta 1.
We cleared that half of the trench, and now we're sitting on the edge of the bunker, waiting for communications with Alpha Group, and we hear nothing. And previously to that, we see and hear explosions over there. A drone comes in, hits their part of the trench. So I'm thinking, at this stage, I'm thinking like, fuck, these guys could be injured or dead, because we heard absolutely nothing, no yelling, no anything. So I say to my guys, like, fuck it, we're going to commit and clear the bunker.
No, we got no comms with Delta 1. We're at Shovel. We're at the LOE. Can you get...
Delta, this is Haji. Ollie, Moss. Oh my god, bad. Jay.
Yo.
Is someone in that fighting position?
Yeah, Yorkie's holding it.
Tell them to yell.
They are. Nothing.
You might have to push through Shovel.
They got hit with 2 suicide drones so far.
Who did?
Fucking D1.
Is anyone alive?
We don't know, man.
We need to push.
Okay. Hey, we need to push.
We need to push.
Sorry, camera fell off. Now, some people are probably thinking, well, when you meet in the middle, how are you going to prevent like fratricide, like friendly fire, like through gunfire or grenades? And we already planned for this. So each team had a limit of exploitation or limit of advance inside the trench. There was a bunker in the center, and what each team was going to do was going to meet. They were going to halt outside the bunkers on their respective sides, and then we were going to gain communication with the teams, and then one team would then commit into the bunker to clear it, depending on what each side of the entrance looked like, if one was maybe collapsed or more feasible and whatnot. And we also had little flag markers, little flags made up, bit of hessian rolled to a wood stick, and if we didn't have comms with it.
And I want you guys to think about this. This is one day. This is one day. This war has been going on for 3 years. This is one day of 3 years.
Each other, we would throw it around the corner so that the people on the other side could see it and know that it's us. So that's how we mitigate fratricide if comms are down.
Yep, good. Friendly's on Shovel!
Right here.
Can you push into it or is it
No, it's collapsed.
fucking everything? I'm gonna frag it.
Roger.
Hi. Friendly's on Shovel! Stoppage.
Yeah, I'm covering.
You're okay.
I'm gonna frag into the corner. You might have to push back when I do it, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, should you get low?
Someone pass me an F1 or a frag.
Here. Here's a frag.
You got one?
Get ammo in there, boys. It might be a big bum, okay? Friendly! Nothing, okay? Fragging.
Roger, covering. As soon as we throw this frag, who's not there? Go on, as soon as we throw that frag, get around the corner, yeah, 'cause I'm coming back that way.
It's got ammo, be prepared.
Yeah.
Frag out, good fucking frag.
So we get in, we clear this bunker, and the first thing I noticed was smell. I think the Russians were so scared to come out that they were shitting and pissing in the bunker because it smelled like human feces the whole time in there. But like the whole bunker was filled with munitions, both like a lot of grenades, a lot of equipment. I found a couple of thermal optics in there as well too when I was looking around. I think we found Russian radios as well too, which is a big find.
On you.
Fuck. Somebody's screaming. Bunker. That's a bunker in front of us too. Yeah. I don't want to hit friendlies.
No.
Just wait a sec, see if he dies. They might be dead, dude.
Stand by. It's going over the top of this, yes?
Yes. A little bit further.
Frag out!
Non-stop! We're sitting there figuring out what's going on, and I'm looking at the corner of the trench and I see this non-stop come around the corner, and I yell, non-stop! And we jump back into the bunker, and you can see in my GoPro the flash from the explosion. So before they knew we were there, they started fragging, and after that is when I started yelling like friendly, 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 and then we got a response. Friendlies! Friendlies! Friendly!
Who is that? Friendly! Friendly!
After yelling back and forth, I see one of their flags come around the corner, so I know, okay, they're good. Oh, okay. Hey, Ollie! We're gonna push this bunker in front of us! Do not enter!
I don't know if they're crossing there.
No. We're gonna push across this, get to that corner, mate, guys, okay?
Just watch your eyes, mate.
Yep.
Watch your eyes.
Do not get in the bunker! And between us in the corner of the trench, there's a bunker here, and I could hear someone dying. I didn't know who it was. I thought it might have been coming from in the bunker. I could hear him moaning and groaning. I go around the corner and I link in with the other team. They're all good except one of our guys has been shot, but he's alive. Then I can see a dead Russian on the ground, and it was a PKM gunner. And he was, I believe he was the guy who shot our guy in the neck as well. And he was the guy I heard dying just a few minutes ago. But by the time I reached him, he had already died and bled out. I searched this dude, this dead Russian, for grenades, but he's got nothing on him. He's just got his PKM.
Check him. See if he's got a grenade.
Oh, yep. Bad day at the office, mate. Oh, it's lucky I'm wearing these gloves. No frags. Right. Oh, gross.
Just be careful. Is this clear, Jay, or not?
Hey?
Is this clear?
Yeah, it's a dead end, bro. You're good. You going all right?
No.
Did you get hit by suicide drones?
Yes. Bad.
How bad's Mossy?
In and out on the neck.
Fuck. Any other injuries?
Just Mossy.
We start forming a defensive posture in the trench now, because now we're worried about a counter-attack from the south.
Lay down, I can pull it out.
Yeah, go take defensive position!
Oh, lay down, lay down.
Yeah, I got it! Go
Lay down, lay down.
Position here!
Lay down.
Are we getting counted? Yeah, everybody's okay. We lost the vehicle, I don't know what's happened.
All right.
Got a chemical. Hey!
Go, lay down, lay down.
Get to the fucking machine gun and
Here, grenades.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him.
Right, get to the fucking machine gun.
Yeah.
How you doing? Shit. Where's
right there, right
got
there.
It.
All right, come this side.
Go. All
right.
How you doing, brother? Move left. Hey! Yeah. Hey, get this to the other guy. Coming to you, I've no cover.
And this whole time we're taking extremely close 120mm mortar rounds to the trench. In the video as well that was posted online, you can see the Canadian Dirty P. He has a real close call that rocks him really bad, and you see me come up to him, check him, and he moves positions. Like, that's how close these explosions were getting.
Oh, fuck! Ah! Fuck, I'm in!
Yeah, bro.
Ah!
Coming, mate, coming.
Oh. Fuck.
Now, as you're sitting here watching this, again, I want to remind you guys why we are streaming Chosen Company's video today. 3 years of freaking war. Yep, this is a little bit of an older clip, but it's a very good one. I want you to take a look at what's taking place in that trench right there. And imagine being there, fighting for somebody else to stop the Russians from doing crazy crap and invading another country. And they're ill-equipped. And if they had the proper equipment, they wouldn't be in this situation. All the Russians would be dead in that position, and they'd be back at their freaking like team house drinking a cup of coffee at this point in the video. But instead, this stuff's going on. So the link to help them out is 1, in the description down below. 2, also pinned up at the top of the chat. That money does not go to the Ukrainian government. It goes straight to Chosen Company so that they can get the things that they need.
You look good, mate. You look good. Yeah.
Fuck me!
You okay?
You okay?
You're alive. You're alive.
You alright?
Can you get up, man? You're gonna have to get up.
Yeah, just let me get back there for a minute. Yep. Holy fuck. Oh. Jesus cock. Oh.
That op lasted quite a while. Like we were essentially taking mortars and artillery the entire time. I recall someone mentioning that the Russians tried to gas us. They tried to launch artillery or mortars with gas rounds, but because of the way the wind was blowing, it blew away from us. So we never had to deal with any sort of gas on our position, thankfully. But this is not the first or the last time that the Russians are using gas on troops in the field as well. We just happened to get lucky. We were really happy with that operation because we went really hard, really fast in the assault, and although the Russians tried to counterattack, the Ukrainians hit them with artillery and mortars before they could get to us, thankfully, which would save us another battle having to try and get out of there.
But we moved the Swede to a sniper position. He ended up schwacking like 6 dudes in a trench.
Yeah, just
like
north.
600 meters away.
Oh, he used my favorite word, schwack. I had to point it out. He used it.
Yeah. And the Ukrainians actually went and took that too, because there's nobody left in it.
He was shooting at it, and he was like, "Hey, P, come on over here, help me shoot at this." I'm like, "I can't even see what I'm shooting at." And he's like, "Just shoot, I'll let you know." And he's looking through his thermal, and so I just start shooting, and he's like, "Higher." So I'm just like adjusting my gun while looking at him, and he's like, "All right, right there." And I just like hold it. I've just got a PCAM, so I'm just putting bursts out into this field. I can't see anything since it's nighttime, and he's just like, "Yeah, you're good. Just spray there every now and then." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Okay, hold on." Then I would hear him shoot, and it's like he was just having me shoot. And it would make the guys in the trench panic, and they would expose themselves, and then he would shoot them.
From the point the trench was taken, we sat there, I can't remember exactly, but it was either between 4 to 6 hours. It was definitely dark by the time we started to exfil. Luckily, I had like 2 fucking awesome medics that like 100% saved my life and kept me alive in that trench. And then exfil under darkness, around about the 6 hour mark, I think. Dudes were absolutely beat at this point, so it wasn't the easiest exfil in the world. Obviously they had to haul my fucking broken ass out of there as well, which I felt really fucking bad for. I've casevaced dudes before, and that was my first time being casevaced, and I definitely felt more sorry for them carrying the stretcher than I did myself, who was on the stretcher. Yeah, and at the time I wasn't even a heavy dude. I was 82 kilo, wringing wet. So
we made our exfil out of there. I was part of the last group to leave. I was with one of the wounded. I was with Swede as well too, and we walked our way all the way back to.
Oh, you think I'm done today? No, sir.
A medic variant of the M113.
I'm gonna be streaming for a hot minute today.
The wounded we were with, and then we continued walking to the exfil point where we left in the middle of the night. Yeah, shovels. The operation I think we're most known for, and as you can see, like trenches we train on the most for good reason, because they suck to fight in, but you have to know how to do it. And that's what makes part of us so effective, because we take that so seriously.
Like the biggest benefit that we had on that operation, so we had 14 guys going up against like 22 Russians, not including the ones in the north that we killed because we could see them. But 2 to 1 for, typically you want more, like when you're doing an assault operation, you typically want more assaulters to defenders. So like going up, like you're never going to get that perfect like 3 to 1 ratio where you have 3 assault element guys for every defender. You can try, but then you just have too many people in the trench, and then you get killed that way.
Especially when the number one thing that I'd given us casualties is shrapnel from like So that's either drones or IDF. And the more guys we pile in, the less it becomes less safe, because now we're very dense. And if one guy does get hit and he's next to like 5 other guys, because there's nowhere for anybody to spread out, now you got 5 injuries as opposed to 1.
And like the area we took basically allowed the Ukrainians to try to advance further south, because now we took a position that was at the second line for the Russians. So like further south of that, now they had Russians that were basically sticking out in the middle that they could then, you know, try to push on easier, because now you have their sides locked down.
That actually forced them to, the Russians ended up giving up, was it 3 bunkers and a position?
Yeah.
And it showed the Russians, like, just because they want to claim we're dead, we're not dead. And now we're just angrier.
Yeah, we just obliterated a platoon.
We got, what's its name? Fuck.
Cossack.
30B. Finians here.
How am I supposed to hold this position?
Shit. Oh fuck, if we survive this, I'm gonna fucking buy whiskey.
It happened the winter I hunkered in Maine, when a modern day Hitler invaded Ukraine. Well, his people believed every word of his lies. What an awful strange world us humans devise, singing so long. It's been good to know you so long. It's been good to know you well so long. It's been good to know you. Oh, it's a mighty big war that's gotta be won. Then we'll get back together again.
You guys know we're not done yet. And it's funny because I see it down in the chat like, oh, it's almost over, folks. No, it's not, baby. We got 3 years of stuff to go over. Now, I'm not even sure how quite accurate this is. I don't know if it is, but I actually think it's a little low. February of 22, December of 24. Those are dead, wounded, and missing. Yellow's missing in action, MIA. Those numbers are in the thousands by the month of Ukrainians. Now, just in December of 24, dead, wounded, and missing, dude, they had, what, 12? I mean, it's insane. 4,777 in December alone. 4,909 in November. 4,905. 5,322 in September of 24. And while our government was busy dicking around with politics and Ukraine actually needed help, you go all the way back. And you can take a look and you can see, since we've been dicking around with funding Ukraine, how it's got that steady increase up. You see that? Everybody thinks Joe Biden was pro-Ukraine. Everybody thinks Democrats are pro-Ukraine and Russians aren't. And here's the bottom line. Politicians are not. And you know politicians are not because if they wanted to, they would. You wouldn't see that uptrend because they would have had what they needed. And we wouldn't be sitting here in this stream saying these men that we just showed are getting thrashed, assaulting Russian positions, still taking the objectives, laying there wounded all frickin' day and night, just to get the hell out of there and kill a couple of them, and some blown up ass Humvees that they jerry-rigged together. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what they've been dealing with over there. Because of our crap ass government.
That you were wearing.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is what they have been dealing with. And I want you to think about that. So I want you guys to go down in the chat, all right? Go down in the chat. And I want you to go to the link at the top. I want you to click on that sucker, and I want you to donate to Chosen Company, because those boys, better believe it, they need it, ladies and gentlemen. They do. They absolutely do.
How are you guys doing? Welcome. Hey, we're going to be...
Here we go. Now, let's go a little bit old school for a sec, ladies and gents. Let's go a little bit old school for you.
actually posting multiple videos a day over the next couple days while this stuff is actually kind of going hot and heavy over there in Ukraine.
I think this, if I remember right, this was just a couple days after the actual invasion. And I want you to take a look at what Rob and I are talking about in this video. We're going to pull it up. We're going to get up over here to the map.
Your drawings, so please do.
You gotta love drawings, man. It's like crayons for Marines. I'm sure there's plenty of them watching. What we saw was Putin put out his information up over. He did his public broadcast like, hey, we're invading, kiss our ass. And then within minutes of that happening, the invasion launched. And it launched hard. We saw people from the Crimean Peninsula. We saw a massive amount of troops air assault and start moving into the Crimean, or out of the Crimean Peninsula and into southern Ukraine. We saw them launch assaults on Donetsk and also Luhansk. And then there's also reports now of 15 tanks that got destroyed moving into Kharkiv. All right.
Was this Ukrainian tanks? Or?
No, these were Russian tanks moving into Kharkiv. Okay. So they moved, because this is a very strategic location. I'm going to circle it right here. So this is a very strategic location due to...
Make that green or something. Make people know that is the most strategic location.
Well, I don't know about the most strategic, but it is a very strategic location with routes and everything. And those tanks got destroyed just to like the northeast as they were moving down and in. And guess what they got destroyed by? A lot of the equipment that the United States ended up providing to Ukraine. So this is where I'm starting to think Russia might be a little bit pissed off now, because they also lost 5 aircraft.
Right? Which we do have some video of that, which I'll show you guys.
We'll get there. Yeah, so they lost 5 aircraft in and around Kiev. And again, that's with equipment that we directly provided. Now, what we predicted was that they were going to go move and start surrounding Kiev, and they have. They've started to move right up in this area, and they're coming down, and then they also went and they took over the whole Chernobyl area, and they just launched a massive air assault right out here, right outside the city of Kiev. And when I say a big air assault, like they moved in and they took it. And that city that they took has a highway running right through the middle of it on its way out of Kiev. So they haven't gone on these southern routes. Remember how I said...
Now, if you're a local business owner, listen up, because I'm going to show you how to rank.
I'm playing my own videos, you bastard. I'm playing my own videos, but I want you guys to think about this like while that ad's playing and it's going through. YouTube. Oh my gosh. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to think about where that map was at then and where the Russians were at, and what they've been able to accomplish since then, what the Ukrainians have been able to accomplish since then. That's why we're actually putting this up there, because they are fighting and they're kicking absolute bootay, all right, knocking them out. They just don't have the stuff to do it. You can't plan a war. You cannot fight a war unless you have the appropriate equipment. I don't care how badass you are, how many assaults you run. If you don't have what you need to get the job done, baby, it ain't getting done. So again, click on that link up top and make sure you get over there and help them out.
Out of there, but they've definitely moved in from the north, the northwest, and the east to northeast, going around, surrounding and cutting off Kiev. So what we're predicting, what we should see after they've taken all of these locations down here in the south, once they start moving in and they start pushing towards Mariupol and start taking it because they still have the people in the ocean, we're going to just see them basically swoop north, and they'll be complete. They'll have Kiev surrounded, done and done. But they're meeting heavy resistance right now in Donetsk, Luhansk, and also Kharkiv. And so if they're able to push and break through that, which is just going to be a matter of time, we're going to see them move up and surround Kiev.
Okay. So there's your quick update.
One last thing. They also struck one of Ukraine's big...
They've been hitting Odessa with...
They've been striking it.
With rockets.
Yep.
Like we actually have video
port.
of that.
It's a big
port.
Yeah,
huge port. So they need to take control of that port is another...
Well, if they take control of the port, it's like a launching point for them. But what they did was they struck right over here by Vinnytsia. They struck a ammunition manufacturing facility,
which we have video of that
which is right by that NATO compound that I warned you guys about. That was over there. If they with it, so this is why I don't think they're going to go in there, because they're going to they run the risk, and that woke NATO up, right? Like Gary, I promise you that woke NATO up. But you're right, down on Odessa, started bombarding Odessa as well.
Okay. So, there's your quick update midday on what are we on? We're on Thursday right now. Thursday, midday. I'm sure we're going to actually have another video for you guys later on the day, but I'm going to show you guys some footage that is coming literally directly from Ukraine. I don't think he's seen much of this footage. I don't think he's seen any of the stuff that I'm about to show you. So it's going to go from night to day. Just bear with me. This is taken by civilians on their phones. If you haven't seen this stuff, you should take a look. Clearly, tanks rolling in through the night. Yeah, so this actually happened at night, as you guys do know. That actually looks like an APC or something. And there goes a random red car. So I don't know if those are tanks. Those look like APCs.
It could be APCs, yeah. It's hard to tell.
That first one looked like a tank. Those last two look like APCs. See, those look like APCs.
Those are APCs.
Yeah, those are APCs. Armored like,
or like our 113s that we have, things like that.
Yeah, something like that. Now the first one that came in definitely was a tank. These other ones, I guess someone that doesn't know they wouldn't say they're tanks. So here's some more footage from last night. Now what they've been targeting, by the way, just so everybody's aware, has been airports.
I've seen that one.
That's pretty big.
That's huge.
Yeah,
It's got a mushroom cloud coming up.
That kind of reminds me. I think that might have been the ammunition depot one.
Mm-hmm.
But there was another ammunition depot one that's actually happening. That happened during the day, which we're going to see. These are.
That's Chernobyl, isn't it?
I don't know. I see shipyards in the back, but I know this is when they were actually taking the footage you're seeing right here with the helicopters coming in. This is when they were trying to take Kiev.
Oh, that's that route to the east, to the east.
There's an airport over there.
West.
This is the airport they were trying to go after right now. Imagine seeing that. You wake up and you're like, all right, here we go.
Red Dawn, baby.
And this right here is 100%. It was a KA-82, KA-52. This is a Russian helicopter that was shot down by Ukrainian forces, which was probably using some of the stuff that we give them to shoot surface-to-air stuff. I don't know exactly what they're using. I have no idea. But this was shot down. This is the ammunition depot one. So, more nighttime stuff. Way off in the distance.
Dude, some old boy is outside right now playing with a leaf blower. And like, I thought I heard my door open up. That dude, almost. Oh man, people are so stupid.
It's so crazy how wars change now that you can literally get this stuff. It's instant. Back in the day, it would take like a week for you to get a video done. It had like a month. Look at that right there. That's actually leaving Crimea. I know where that video. This is them coming in initially into Kiev over the river.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that. And this was them. This was out taken outside near a hospital. Well, listen to fire. It's crazy, ain't it? Yeah. He's counting off.
He said there's 20 of them.
Oh, is that what he said? Yeah. I know he's counting off clearly, but
he said they're not. He said they're not Ukrainian. They're only Russian. Jesus.
No idea what he just said there.
Said how it fell. I think.
Listen to this.
Ukrainians on the thing.
Fast movers coming in. It's clearly not Ukrainian.
So that video I watched earlier, and that's supposedly a Ukrainian aircraft in a dogfight with a Russian aircraft.
Is it?
No.
That's wild. Another nighttime one. This was just earlier this morning. I say nighttime, it was morning. Listen to this. This right here is them targeting civilian areas. This is the airport. This is one of the airport videos. Russia just doesn't care. They're just sending it. What's crazy is they know they're just going to kill civilians doing this. Imagine if America did this. We're just going to bombard the entire area with missiles.
Like Baghdad?
What's that? But we gave them warning.
Just kidding. We did. We gave them warning, and we had legitimate military targets when we did it.
That's not a military target.
I know, bro. I know. It's a joke.
Yeah, back then we jacked up, but we at least dropped
somebody said, was the early combat footage crazy? They didn't get a chance to see it. Well, welcome over, ladies and gentlemen, because that is exactly what we used to cover. This channel was built, for those that don't know, on Ukraine and everything else. It's funny to see how the dynamic has changed over time. It's really funny to see how the dynamic has changed over time, to where back then, everybody was like, ooh, Russia bad. We can't have like Russia bad. We need to get rid of Russia. Now we're asking questions, but the problem is, listen to me here. The problem is that we never, ever properly funded Ukraine. What we did is we trickled funding into Ukraine. Biden held up a lot of funding that was going into Ukraine, and it strung this thing out. Dude, if we had taken 60% of what we've given Ukraine this entire time, and we just said, here you go, right up front, and sent it over there, we wouldn't even be at the figure we're at right now, and Russia would probably get the hell out of there. Oh, maps, bro. You want to do some mapping? We got some mapping bids. We can pull some of those up here in just a sec. You want to go over some of the movements and stuff that we were doing? It's insane to me. And it's politicians that screwed this up. Politicians screwed it up. And you want to know how dumb some of these politicians are? And I told you guys, Trump is not going to understand what's taking place over there. Like, I'm praying that his advisors keep him up and everything else. Either way, the soldiers don't need to put up with that. They don't need to put up with bad politics. And it's the soldiers that are always suffering. And the nice thing is, with the link that is down in the comments section below and pinned to the top of the chat, you are donating directly to soldiers who volunteered their butts from other countries and are over there fighting on bare bones equipment. You've got Americans, Canadians, dude, you got all sorts of people from around the world. They're just smashing Russians on nothing. And they're out right now doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, click that sucker. Send them 5, send them a cup of coffee, do whatever you want. Make it happen, please. Let's get back to it.
Flits.
Yeah. Well, people are getting offended because we like make jokes about it. Like, guys, I'm sorry. We have a dark sense of humor.
Fast movers. That sounds... I don't know what that is right there. But that was a fast mover that went over the top. He might have actually hit flares is what he might have done. If you guys don't know those flares that are shooting off, it's supposed to like...
Oh. It's ICBM. Or not ICBM. Freaking,
it's one of those rockets.
Yeah.
У мене тут дома літають ракети. Вон. Полетела.
They're absolutely, the big thing here is they're just pummeling the forces, so they literally just, they haven't even, the crazy part is Russia hasn't even brought in their actual infantrymen at all. They haven't even had to. They just come in, they're going to pound it and pound it and pound it with bombs and shell them.
It's called shaping operations.
Yes, they're just going to shell the absolute piss out of them.
It's a lot of outgoing. It's already.
You know what, badass? I really appreciate you coming in with that donation. I really do. And I'm going to answer your question for you. And I just also want to make a point. I'm watching the chat so I can pull out some pertinent questions and stuff. And if you guys have good ones like that and you've been around for a while and you tag me in it and you want me to stop this stream and you want me to answer some questions like that you put in there, I will absolutely pause the stream for the freaking true supporters that have been around here for so dang long, right? Like, I got you guys today. You guys have shown me so much love. It's not even funny over the years. Please show some love to Chosen. Now, I really don't want to get into politics, but you did pay for it, and so I'm going to answer your question. Do I think Trump's approach to trying to end this war is correct? Here's the problem. When I start giving opinions on that, I'm looking at it from somebody that doesn't have the same intelligence that he has. And intelligence drives operations, right? Now, with that being said, my personal opinion for the way he's currently going about doing it and what he's doing with it, think it's fucking retarded.
That right there is one of these.
It's like the equivalent of the U.S. HIMARS.
That's. I mean, we're talking about that. That was small arms fire with the tank coming through. I know this right here was the tanks that ended up getting destroyed.
Yep.
This is I saw this one. This one's wild.
I want to know, have you made this mistake with your holster? And by mistake, I mean, did you get a holster that's uncomfortable so you don't carry all the time?
It's my channel. Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this one.
This is I saw this one. This one's wild.
Yeah.
Earlier on in the stream, and I'm going to have to stitch these two things together now and put a post out. I was talking about Russian helicopters strafing civilians out in the east. Strafing them. Watch.
It's crazy. I posted this one, and there's a lot of people that are coming out saying that that's a Ukrainian fighter. How could you tell it's anything? And would they be dropping a bomb on their own people? I tell you what, these helicopters are really.
If they're fighting back into Donetsk and stuff, yeah, they'd be dropping over there, targeting Russian forces. It's a Russian tank coming across the border, going down towards
100%.
Chernobyl.
Look at that.
Supposedly that's Belarus down towards going into Chernobyl. Supposedly.
That's definitely a Dishka. Is that a Dishka?
I can't see.
What's that? Right there in the front right? I think that is, isn't it?
All I saw was a barrel.
Listen to this one.
Так працюють російські ракети. Почався обстріл Івано-Франківського аеродрому.
Look at this. Boosh.
Одесса промышленная. Только что склады.
Yep.
Обычный промышленный объект. Полздания.
Well, there's your quick little update midday here on a Thursday on the first day of the invasion. I do hope you guys are having a fantastic week. It's probably going a little.
Oh, whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, you think we're done yet?
How are you guys doing?
No,
Welcome. Hey, we're going to be.
No. We're not there yet. Let's get there. Let's get it up and let's get it. Hey, why you got to do that, man? For the fifth time, YouTube, this is not, this is the Speak the Truth channel. Stop.
Just bear with me. This is taken by civilians on their phones. I mean, if you haven't seen this stuff, you should take a look. Clearly, tanks rolling in through the night. Yeah, this actually happened at night, as you guys do know. That actually looks.
See, and I thought I was doing okay until I got up there. I was like, nah, man, I'm doing strong, man. I've got like little random problems, but you know, at least I'm not on the front lines right now. Just because got a little PTSD action going on last night doesn't mean I, for some reason, can't sit here and support the boys that are out front, like I would like you guys to do by going up to the link down in the description below and up at the top of the chat and donating some money up over to Ukraine, to the soldiers that are over there on the front lines. That money is going directly to the soldiers on the front lines. It's not going to the government. It's not going to anybody else. It's going to these gentlemen and they're going to be kicking ass. So get up over in there and make it happen.
Fucking leprosy for the amount of skin peeling off my arms.
So I don't know. That's my thought process. I had to give you guys a little bit of history lesson, myself included. I didn't know we gave them that many tanks and planes, or even gave them that
That's
much
an
money.
insane amount.
That's a ton. That's just a ton of money. But the American people literally blood, sweat, and tears to build the stuff to give.
We now know that all of that was BS, and that a ton of that money didn't go to where it was supposed to be going. And now we're sitting over here trying to frickin' crowdfund for folks that are on the front line getting their frickin' tushies kicked in. Oh, dude, this.
All over the internet since yesterday. It has been verified to be a real document by this gentleman right here. But we cannot say if it's propaganda and or not. This one is actually calling for
whether
30.
it being a real document. However, whether or not it was actually issued, because there's the
Yes.
handwritten stuff on there, like
The 21 was scratched out, turned to 22. And I wasn't really scratched out. It was just turned.
yeah, I'm not a handwriting expert. I can't confirm like any of that crap. But yeah, it's a real document.
But the stamp was real. Everything on it was real. But it was saying that there's a 39-year-old man to be called up. It was to this man, of course, from the reserves inside of St. Petersburg, and has a report May 17th. So apparently within the next week or so, they're claiming to be mobilizing the troops. We have no idea if this
or
is,
somebody
this
wants
is
it to
true.
appear that they're mobilizing more troops. Who knows?
We don't know. But we can't see into the future. But
Oh, I remember now why I put this in the stack, because this is where Russia started to get their poo-poo pushed in. They had gone up and they were up over in, where the hell were they? They were in Kharkiv. They were up in the frickin' north. They were outside of frickin' Kyiv. And then all of a sudden we start getting these things, and Russians are dying and getting pushed and pushed and pushed back months into it. That's why this is up. Oh, this should be a good one, ladies and gentlemen.
we just wanted to show you guys, so it's something to take note of. And Western sanctions seems to be doing their job inside of Russia. We have a video I'd like to share with you guys from good old Russian state TV.
Да, для нас очень важно, как будет жить наше население. Население хочет приходить в магазин и видеть ассортимент того, что он видит каждый день.
По ценам, которые может себе позволить.
По ценам, которые может позволить. Если так будет, у них главный козырь будет выбит из рук. Они на что надеются? Один из главных козырей повторить февраль, октябрь 17 года, 1917 года, или август 91 года, ничего нет, все дорого, и население, которое еще вчера говорило, батюшка, царь, так далее, и начинаются другие какие-то процессы. Чтобы наши полки заполнены были всем, что необходимо, чтобы потом завтра не было бунтов. Я еще раз говорю, не по мне, а Лаврентия Павловича Берег. Это и был менеджер, который нужен нашей стране. Выдающаяся личность.
Из Берии вот тогда, в 40-е годы, ученых, физиков, ну они, так сказать, сильно старшие товарищи, которые говорили, что более адекватного, более разумного и более гуманного человека.
That's my favorite argument. Sorry, guys, I gotta pause it there and go on a Matt rant about the American homeless people. You know, I used to think the same thing until I got into until I was a cop for a couple of years. Not that that's a huge accomplishment or anything. It's just I used to think the same thing. Like, you know, we need to take care of, like, we've got homeless vets, we've got homeless this, and we've got homeless that. And then I got out on the street and I realized that being homeless today in the United States of America, for the most part, the vast majority of them turn it into a lifestyle. I'm asking people to donate to a company on the front line that's schwacking Russians, that is in a horrible spot, whether you support the United States government, whether you support the Ukrainian government, I don't give a flying hell. I care about the good guys that are fighting the good fight that need help. That's who I care about. So if you would like to donate to the homeless, by all means, go find your local tweaker on the street corner or your local alcoholic that couldn't keep their life together, that chooses or is addicted to drugs because they made bad choices in their lives. When I was a law enforcement, I met, I think, just a couple people, like 2, maybe 3 guys. One had moved out of his house because he's a man and he was getting a divorce, and welcome to America. for some reason, that's just what law enforcement does, is tell people to get the heck out of the house. So he's on the street. He ended up getting his shit together, and he was off the street in like 2 days. Got another guy that was sleeping in a post office, used to give him a ride to a bus station, used to take him into work, things like that. Those guys, they're motivated. They get the hell out of there. It's a lifestyle now in America, and it's sad. So yes, if you want to, find your local tweaker. You'll know them because they'll be missing a bunch of their teeth, and they'll look really messed up like that like fat Palestinian lady I showed the other day. Other than that, this is a good cause that I'm asking you guys to donate to.
Человека из руководителей, они не встречали, он ни разу никого не наказал.
So the Russian state TV panel is actually suggesting the time is now to bring in a figure like Beria, which myself, I had no idea who this gentleman was. He headed the NKVD during Stalin's purges. We had a conversation about this earlier.
Right.
He didn't really know who he was either. So everybody who does not know who the NKVD was, which was myself, like I'm saying, it was the agency that was originally tasked with conducting regular police work and overseeing the country's prisons and labor camp.
Yeah, so what you're saying is to prevent potential riots that's going to be brought on from food shortages, right?
Yeah.
Over the sanctions and everything, that they're going to essentially be bringing in these Stalin era guys in order to regulate the population.
To literally stop a purge. They're literally going to stop it from happening, from bringing these kind of... This is what they're calling for. Like, do you really think the average civilian inside of Russia is going to want to bring back any type of Stalin-type purge to prevent them from rioting over food shortages, stuff being more expensive?
Do I think?
That's what I'm asking.
No.
Yes, because that's exactly what they're calling for.
Yeah, no, I know what they're calling for. It's just not realistic.
CNN and be like, hey, look,
I mean, well, it's realistic in Soviet Russia. You know what I'm saying? That you're going to bring in these people to regulate the population. Essentially, you're bringing in like groups of freaking, how do you want to call them?
Bad people.
I mean, it's just people roaming the streets with swagger sticks to beat people into submission.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
This is bad people.
Yeah.
Anyway, the 97th Ukrainian Infantry, this is kind of a little funny note for you guys. Anyway, they have actually issued a thank you letter to the Russian unit who on May 8th opened fire on its own troops. The leadership of the 97th Infantry, this is a quote by the way, battalion expresses its satisfaction with the actions of the Russian occupiers who used heavy flamethrower systems in the direction of its own positions. I believe they meant more like thermobaric munitions, essentially, is what they're putting here. Such actions are positively perceived and supported in every way by the Ukrainian military. We understand that there is a tradition in cooking kebabs in May, but we may have one remark about smoking ourselves in Russia because in Ukraine we are happy you are doing it. So they basically they're trolling the Russian military for dropping munitions on their own troops.
For cooking their own troops
literally.
like kebabs.
That's exactly what the Ukrainian military is doing. They sent this out to the Russians. So there is that. That is kind of an interesting piece we haven't seen at all during this war. Senior U.S. defense officials actually stated that 97 operational BTGs are inside of Ukraine, which is up from 93 of last week. So it's up 4 of the last week alone, which are now operating in the north and southern regions of Ukraine. So we're going to move over to some mapping here for you guys. So the Ukrainian command has actually reported that Russian forces have been spotted starting to build trenches in the town of Kozachya Lopan, which is indicating they're starting to feel a little bit of the pressure of the Ukrainian assaults inside the inside the outer lying areas. We know there's an element moving here, also right through here, here, and here. Now I know that Kozachya Lopan is actually right here, and for some reason my mapping did not actually save this. So this is the area we are talking about right now that the Russians are starting to actually set up a little bit of, I guess, of not a little bit, but heavily fortified defensive areas, trying to maintain some of the ground they have. This could be an indication that they are possibly feeling a little bit of the pressure. Then they know they're going to lose a little bit of the ground. Maybe
they don't have the ability to push forward. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards, and they don't want to move backwards, so they're just going to dig in.
So does that mean that they know that they're not getting reinforcements inside of this area? Is what
That's what it sounds like. That or they're attempting to secure the route for future operations.
Which this is on a main route. If you guys do look, you guys can see the.
Dang it, YouTube.
I'm a huge
so
fan.
for those,
Hey, what is your number?
For those that want to know, right? So for those that want to know what ended up happening, I had a Ukrainian friend of mine. Well, he's actually an American Marine that's 100% permanent and totally disabled. That also did a bunch of volunteer work over in Ukraine himself. Oh yeah, jambalaya, dude. That would drive me nuts when Rob would say that. I see that down in the chat. And so I went out with them, right? And what ended up happening, when I went out with him was we went to a rally, and then we ended up going to a local meetup at a local Ukrainian restaurant. And this is why I was having problems, I think, sleeping last night. Dude, there is nobody in this country, in the United States of America, that you can talk to on a daily basis. Like if I walk out my front door and I go right down the street here, nobody's going to be likely knowing what the hell I'm talking about. If I bring any of this stuff up, this is so far off America's radar, it's not even funny. Not even funny. And so you almost like feel like you're isolated for a little bit from all of this crap. You know, like it's just, you forget about it. And I'm not saying that I've ever forgotten about those guys. But I felt extremely, extremely, extremely convicted last night as I saw the American flag and the Ukrainian flag side by side, and saw a tiny population from Dallas. I mean a tiny population from up here in Dallas that had gathered in the amount of stuff that they were doing to actually support Ukraine. And when I say tiny, I mean tiny. After 3 years of war. Oh, Tylenol PM? No, sir. I've got a prescription for Klonopin. That didn't do it. That didn't do it. Tylenol PM ain't got shit on that. I promise you that. And I take those sparingly, by the way, when I actually need them, like if I have a panic attack or something like that's going on. No. That is straight up conviction. That is holding things inside. That is holding myself accountable. That is looking at myself in the freaking mirror and saying, you know what, Matt, you can do better. You can absolutely do better. And that, again, is why I want you to get your butt up, click on the link at the top of the description, or I'm sorry, click on the link below on the video in the description, or the link in the chat. That's all I'm asking. That money goes straight to the soldiers that need it. That's where it goes. Doesn't go to me, doesn't go to anybody. It literally goes, it doesn't go to the government. It goes to the guys on the front line. Do you realize Texas, the one here on this channel, he won't tell you, but I will. Texas, dude. Texas puts his own money into it. Like these guys that are on the front. Look at me. These guys from Chosen, the ones that we showed that freaking extensive combat video of, dude, they're funding themselves so they don't die. That is so absurd. So absurd. Against the freaking Russians? Bro, nah. So let's go back to May of, I believe this is May of 22, and let's take a look at how far Russia actually was and where they're at now.
Northwest right there. So we're going to move a little bit east now. I want you guys to take note of Kupiansk and the logistical routes that are coming out of Kupiansk and move south towards Izium and over here to Severodonetsk. Now, yesterday, we know that there was an assaulting element from the Russian forces that tried to establish a bridgehead over the Seversky Donetsk River, just about right here. Okay, now this river flows right here from west to east, going a little bit east, northeast, right there. So this river system right now is actually, I guess it's mainly just the frontline trace of the Russian military inside of this area. They're trying to attempt to get a flanking maneuver, a flanking element around, as we can tell, to cut off Severodonetsk and or the elements that they have inside of Lyman and just south of Yampol. So they're trying to get a force all the way across. Now, that being said, yesterday they lost roughly 24 men and roughly 10 vehicles trying to get across. Now, as I am making this video, there is an attempt by the Russians to actually push through the town of Bilovika. There's an ongoing assault that they're trying to push across right now with another bridgehead. And for everybody who does not know what a bridgehead is, just imagine a giant vehicle that comes and lays down a pontoon bridge. So then the infantry vehicles, the fighting vehicles, the tanks, they can roll across. That's essentially what a bridgehead is. Now, as I'm making this video, I am seeing stuff come in, and the fact the attempt inside of this area has been repelled by Ukrainian forces, and the Russian military has actually lost several tanks and 24 men. Ukrainian forces have said about a company-sized element of Russians was able to get across the pontoon bridge prior to it being destroyed, and they've stated that they're currently working to mop up the Russians that have made it across. So this is the second attempt just north of here in Bilovika. They are, I mean, if it's very clear, it's very evident that they are trying to cut off the element inside of Severodonetsk. I believe if you were to scroll down to Papanza, which is one of the areas that was and is now secured by the Russians. And the only reason why we talked about this morning, the Ukrainians would want to make a tactical retreat inside this area is because there's nothing to actually defend.
Yeah, why bother defending it? Why not go to a more fortified position where you can just kill them in droves when they come in?
Which is exactly what we believe they have done. I don't have the exact locations. What I told you guys yesterday, I hope I would today. I don't. But if you guys were to connect a line on these main routes that come all the way through here, this is what we're looking at. Look at this. They can effectively cut them off all over here in Severodonetsk. Okay, they're trying to do the same thing they did to the men down in Mariupol. They're going to do it just over here as well. Okay, that's what they're trying to do with these pontoon bridges. They haven't been panning out, and it's extremely expensive losses. Like, you got to think about it. These engineering brigades and battalions go out there and they're losing this much equipment. This stuff they cannot replenish that quick. You're talking about a floating bridge that drives across and just flops down.
And you got to use like proper tactics in order to get the damn thing down.
Teach somebody how to do it.
Well, yeah, like, you got to teach somebody how to do. Yeah, you got to have troops on the other side to secure the far side. That's why they're getting their asses handed to them.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to even touch on that.
Yeah, you got to have.
This is crazy to me why they haven't done this.
Right, you got to push people to the far side and secure the far side before you bring it in. And my guess is they don't have the capability to do it just because of the extent of the water that they're crossing.
Well, I've seen it. It is a fairly wide river, but I'm sitting here now you got me really thinking about with that type of process, why they haven't pushed an element around, secured this entire area to then push down. I don't know why they haven't done that.
Can't get across.
They can't get across. Why can't they push through this area? That's crazy to me. Anyway, lessons learned sitting right here inside of my office, I guess you'd say. Anyway, Ukrainian county forces have actually retaken the northern side of Vozhendika, which was lost to the Russians just a few days back, which is just right here. Now, this is one of those areas I actually asked you how to say this word because your pronunciation of this stuff's much better. Vozhendika.
There's an arrow over the Vozhendika.
Anyway, that area was taken back, and this is very significant because it allowed the element that is on the southern half of Rubizan, as you guys can see right here. So here is Rubizan. This is still controlled by Ukrainian forces. They're now connected with Severodonetsk. They're not being cut off, which is a big deal. It eliminated the possibilities from the Russians being able to flank the element inside of the southern half of Rubizan at the same time. So if the Russians did control this area, which they did, they're able to flank around on both sides of these and take control of either side. So that is a big deal. They were actually pushed back in there. Now, the Russian military was successful in taking the town of Nizhny. Anyway, they're just on the outer outskirts right now, and the assaulting element is trying to push through Toshvika as we are making this video. They're trying to get to this main route of P66. As you guys can see, this main route of P66 is the one they were trying to get into so they can actually cut off and get into Severodonetsk. But the major issue they're going to have with that is ambushes. Ukrainian forces are extremely good at setting up ambushes. So these main routes, granted that they are being able to...
I see where somebody said it like Rob needs to shave that. He does kind of look like he's got a little pedo stash going on, doesn't he? Oh, man, love that guy. So if you guys are just in here right now, we're going over like where Russia was at all the way back in May. And I'm just going to scrub through this video and we're going to see if we can't get up to the high one. Now, as I'm doing that, I'm scrubbing through here. I want to let you guys know, I just put a brand new link into the Discord server for you guys. And so you're able to then go, oh, come on, YouTube, kiss my butt. You're able to go, if you're a true supporter and you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you get over there and subscribe to the channel. We are streaming daily and dropping videos on demand pretty much all the time. Now, shortly after that video, this is one of those reasons why I laugh when people are like, Matt, you don't support Ukraine, or people want to like flick me shit because I stopped talking, or I can remember all the way back when, September of 23, when people got really pissed off when I ended up telling them that Ukraine needed funding, and I said I hate to drag politics into this war, but you almost have to drag politics into this war because of the funding, because it directly affects the impact on the soldiers. And look at us here now. Look at us here now. Year and a half later, and I'm sitting here begging you guys, out of the goodness of your heart, if you can, please click that link up top and donate to Chosen. They need it. It's going to the guys. It's not going to the government. It's helping them get the things that they need. And if you don't think I've put my money where my mouth is, not just from like my active duty time over there, something that I rarely talk about. A lot of you guys probably didn't know this. This is a picture that I put up 7 months after the first home went up. You guys think I'm a raging piece of crap and I don't support Ukraine? How many of you guys knew this that are true supporters? I didn't even take a lot of pictures when I was over there because I don't care, because it doesn't matter. But I'm sitting here telling you right now, that jacket I got on, that's a nonprofit we started. And that building that's over there behind, and that land that we're currently standing on, we were the first nonprofit, the very first one to actually have the MOD working hand in hand with the MOD and got land. And we connected these Ukrainian women and children, and put them in a safe place. But on top of that, we also attached them to villages. And you know why we didn't advertise all of this stuff and we weren't taking pictures? For their own safety. That's why. And let me tell you something else. I do business with people I trust, that I've shaken hands with and looked directly into the eye, that I know I can trust. And he's blurred out, but over there to the left, you see a guy in a green uniform. He's blurred out. Guy up over to the left in a green uniform. He's currently on his way up over the front line. And no, I'm not going to tell you who he is. He's currently on his way up over the front line right now, going to kill more Russians. They actually told him that he needed to basically medically retire. And he was like, no, I'm good. I can go kill more Russians. And off he goes. And he hated that job that he had. Where he was at, up in the MOD, the Ukrainian MOD, he hated that job because he wasn't on the front line with the boys. I had an amazing conversation with him one day. And it was on my way back out of the country. And what this dude and me had a conversation about, I said, brother, if I find out one flipping penny from this is getting embezzled, it's going to somebody else, it's going anywhere. And it doesn't go directly to feeding and housing the women and children that don't know where they're going, that were sleeping in colleges, that were sleeping in frickin' tunnels, that were packed into apartment complexes because they had nowhere to go. I am going to come back here and I'm going to beat the brakes off of them, and to the point they wish they were dead. And he said, Matt, if you catch that guy, you let me know. I'll hold on to him for you, and you can come back here and you can shoot him yourself. At the Ukraine. You don't steal money from women and children. I do business with good people. Please click the link in the comment or the description down below, or the one pinned to the top of the chat. It is going to where it needs to go. It is going directly to the people that are currently paying their own way through this war so they don't die. They literally need your help. It is absurd to me that people don't see the irony in all of that. I'm going to take you guys down to Mariupol. And we're going to take a look at what the place looked like before Russia went in there. And by the way, that battle was so freaking crazy. And I had a friend actually down inside of that damn factory as the Russians were outside of it. His ass was actually on vacation before the Russians went in there. Link in the description or the link that's pinned up in the top of the chat here. It goes directly to the men that are funding their own freaking way so they don't die. This isn't about governments. This isn't about freaking anything else. It's about helping those ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Walke, brother, I appreciate you. I've got thousands of people that roll through here. So I got to say it again, and I got to say it again, and I got to say it again, because quite literally what you guys did today and what you donated, I don't even know what, I know this is a generous, generous channel. And what you guys donated today, quite literally, ladies and gentlemen, probably save lives and will in the future. Life is key. Now, Mariupol. Let's give it a look. This is life after Russia invasion. They thrashed it. Thrashed it. Paul, it's okay, brother. It's okay, bro. Look at this place. And by the way, while all of this was happening, I'm going to tell you guys something else that you don't know about me. Just for a little bit of transparency. For all you people that want to scream, Matt hates Ukraine, you can all kiss my ass. I'm tired of these haters. Just because I never told you everything that I was doing and I just held it inside, you realize that I was also helping the women and children that were over there as the Russians were trying to traffic them back into Russia? How many of you guys knew that up until this moment? I know some of you guys knew about that nonprofit because I talked about it like once, maybe twice, when I get really pissed off. How many of you guys knew that? Anybody? Look at this place. That is 1 year after they went in there. It's a wreck. Like, even if the war ended today, the amount of crap. I'm just going to leave this one burning. I'm just going to leave this up on the screen. This is after they went in there. Texas. Matt, not sure you missed last. If you can check Discord, one of the chosen guys has the okay to jump on the live for a bit. If you want to have him on, check Signal DM. Hell yes, I do. Texas, I totally missed that. Let's get that bro in here right now. Is he on Signal? Because I will dial him in immediately. Who wants to jump in over there? Do you know, Texas? Let's get chosen on here, bro. I need to start this though. Give me 1 sec.
Hey, what's up, Matt?
What's up, brother?
What's going on, bro?
Oh, just chilling. I chilling, man. I decided I don't give a shit what's going on in my life. I hate life for you right now. It's bullshit.
Huh?
I might be able to hop on in a bit. Ryan said he might be able to hop on in a little bit also. We're just doing some ops stuff.
Beautiful, man. What we've got folks out here and we've got connections, man. Like, well, first, how long you been over there, man? Like straight?
For myself, I've been in Ukraine. I moved here 6 months before the invasion, actually. I was an English teacher for about 6 months prior to the invasion. So I didn't come over here looking for a fight. It just happened to find me.
6 months, man. That's
yeah.
insane.
So I've been here for about 3.5 years now, since 2021.
You got a break?
Yeah, I take a break every once in a while. I go home usually about maybe once a month or like a month out of the year to see my family and stuff. But I live here pretty full time now. I actually recently just got married to a Ukrainian lady. Yeah, thank you. Started out our wedding ceremony in the metro system because we had a bunch of air defense going off over the marriage center. So broke out the champagne and just like started drinking down in the subway system before we went and got married. It was kind of interesting.
Wow, bro. Wow, man. That's wild. Well, congratulations. Children, anything like that on the way yet? Or even in the plans?
Not on the way, but definitely in the plans. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my goodness. Dude, just tell me, am I lying to the people when I say that you guys are literally funding your own shit? Like funding your own?
No. It is a very, very different war. I know that a lot of people, especially coming from Western militaries, expect to have all the equipment that you need to do your job get provided to you, by the military, which, that would be great if that was the case here. But because of the scale of this, it's not realistic. So yeah, a lot of the stuff that we get, especially the higher quality stuff that we get, and we need like EW systems and vehicles and things like that come from NGOs. So obviously that stuff's not free. They can cover some of the costs, but we have to come up with a lot of it ourselves.
Well, I was just telling him too about like that doctor, the surgeon that I had met up with, and I'm like, dude, this bro is literally trying to crowdfund like 300 grand to get this Ukrainian girl like surgery because her freaking face was wrecked and she needs it.
Oh,
when
yeah.
a helicopter went down. And I'm like, you know what,
Yeah.
dude? I feel like such a piece of shit. I know people. We're gonna put in calls. We're gonna get that done. And I have officially popped my head out of my ass as I was sitting around last night, and I was like, dude, you are freaking slacking. You like, when you have those moments when you just hold yourself accountable, and you don't hate yourself, but you're like, I've been jacking up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I feel you there, brother. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw earlier you said you were in the Dallas. Was it the Dallas area?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I'm from Northeast Texas. I grew up in Tyler. So.
Oh, no kidding, bro.
Yeah. I spent my whole life there. So I didn't know there was a big Ukrainian community in that area really at all. So that's interesting. I'll have to try to link up with them when I get back home sometime.
It's not, and I mean, you've got you know how to reach me, so you let me know, and we'll get you in contact with them.
Hell yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. It was actually a huge freaking Ukraine rally like downtown yesterday. It was actually kind of cool to see, and
nice.
Magically, all of the people out there that were on the streets. So it's really funny to me that you have like all of this other BS where you have like massive amounts of people that take to the streets for like freaking Islamic jihadists and shit over here in the US. But then when you actually have like a good cause that actually needs funding, not terrorism, like literally fighting back from like ridiculous amounts of Russian aggression. The only people that are out there are the ones that are like freaking putting the good, like that have already put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. It's just
it's a sad state of things, man. It's a sad state of things.
Yeah, well, we're gonna fix some shit.
Hopefully it'll get better.
It's getting better. We're gonna fix some shit. Whatever's going on in politics, man, I don't care. The bottom line is you guys are out there and y'all need freaking help. You know what I mean? Like, not to say anything, but like just watching, like, dude, my blood's boiling watching the company like assault a Russian trench and like a half jacked up freaking like up armored Humvee with like the freaking back. I was just like, oh my God, I'm about to lose my shit. Like, that is so unsat, man. So unsat across open terrain like that.
Yeah, and the rate of loss these days, especially for Western equipment, anything Western equipment like that, it draws such a massive target down on you with the prevalence of drone operators in an area. So it's not going to last very long. Like as soon as they see any Western equipment out there, man, you're going to catch every bird in the grid. And so yeah, it is hard to replace that stuff as well. And like they can definitely take a hit, but obviously, the drones are designed. They have different warheads and stuff that they put on there. Some designed for anti-armor, and they'll disable a vehicle. And like one hit, if they're a good operator, it's no problem for them. So, yeah, getting replacement stuff and planning for that loss on the battlefield is a huge part of keeping ourselves just able to maintain an operational like position.
Damn, dude. So I got some good news for you guys. My time has become a little bit more free. And
nice.
I think I've decided I'm going to be taking me a trip. Come back into town. And I think I'm going to bring a bunch of shit with me. So,
oh yeah.
Oh buddy. So we're going to have some fun out there. And yeah. Give me a little bit of time. There's some stuff I'm going to straighten out, but we're going to start picking this back up, and we're going to start making sure we're taking care of you guys the way we should be taking care of you.
Hell yeah. That sounds awesome, bro.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. When I get there from the States, if there was something I could put in my pocket and be like, here you go, bro, what would that be?
Oh man. There's something you could put in your pocket or bring with you. Anything drone related, to be honest, that's a huge thing. Because those operations are just consistently requiring, replacement parts and pieces. Another hard up would be any type of night vision or optic imaging devices that we have. That would be a huge help. I know at one point we were running pretty much 50% night vision, simply just because we didn't have enough. So we'd have one person with it, and then your battle buddy would be without. So you had to rely on the guy in front of you to navigate where you were going if you were on ops and stuff like that. So yeah, anything like that would be massively beneficial, 100%.
I also realized last night, and I'm glad you brought that up, I know some people, and I'm going to make a phone call and see if I can't finagle some stuff over there. Like a good amount. Like a good amount. But I want everybody listening to notice what he just said when I asked him, what can I bring you back from the United States? I was referring to what do you want? Like a freaking chocolate bar? You want your favorite vape pen or some juice? I don't know what you're into, bro. You know what I mean? What would make you happy over there on the front?
Yeah.
And he's like, drone parts, optics. I need this. We need that. And somebody asked down in the chat, they said, where do we donate? How do we help? The link is at the top of the comment section that you guys are currently chatting on. So up at the top of the chat, the link to donate's there for them. Or it's also in the description down below. If you guys are over watching on Twitter, you guys can also, it's pinned up at the top of my profile. So go get it. Donate to these guys. It goes directly to them. All right.
I guess if you were talking about comfort items or anything like that, man, if you could get me just a Costco size bottle of Cholula, that would be pretty clutch.
Oh yeah, dude.
To be honest.
I totally understand that, man. I remember I came home on leave one time from overseas, and I went to a freaking, what the hell was it, man? Cracker Barrel. And dude, their freaking maple syrup is crap.
Yes.
Right. And so I just grabbed a bunch of minis of that. Yeah, dude. And I was saving those for a rainy day just to make yourself feel better. So I got to see if there's a Cracker Barrel around here, because I know.
Maple syrup wouldn't be too bad either.
Yeah. So maple.
Love you too.
I need to take notes.
Sorry, we have a few of our Canadian friends over here.
Oh man, how's that going?
Canadian Americans.
How's that going right now?
They're good.
Are they just F
they
both
of
our
cold.
Governments? We don't care.
Yeah, pretty much.
I could give two shits less right now. I have bigger things to worry about.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. What the hell is wrong with people? I'm sorry, man. I gotta write this down. Well, dude.
Oh no, you're all good.
I'll tell you what. Because you've been over there on the front for a while.
Yeah.
And I had my buddy that had called in here that ended up getting killed last year. And He was talking about the Russian helicopters strafing civilians, like just straight up doing gun runs over there. With your own eyes, number one, what is the most jacked up thing that you've seen the Russians do? Number two, why would you say that America needs to get their asses in gear and properly support y'all?
So one of the things that I've seen, and I'm not going to name any names, but one of the most jacked up thing that I've seen with my own eyes, one of the soldiers that we had during an operation, he was injured, and we, on the drone feed, we witnessed the Russians come out and basically just execute him after he was just completely, done in, applying first aid to himself, wasn't even within the reach of a rifle, and they just straight up executed him on the drone feed. So like, that's pretty jacked. And I get it, it's war, like stuff like that happens, but I don't know the entirety of the situation. Maybe they made a decision or whatever, but yeah, that was pretty fucked. I've witnessed some gas, our guys, like with definitely not any kind of NATO approved gas. We've had several dudes injured from what we assume to be probably chlorine phosphate, I believe, gas. So some pretty nasty stuff as well. Yeah. And we've submitted evidence about that to the appropriate authorities to try to get it done. It's very difficult to document it correctly. I don't know what documentation would even do, to be honest. Like, what are they going to pursue them in a criminal court? They're committing war crimes, like they don't give a shit. But
right.
Yes, yeah. So we've had that happen as well. The specific targeting of any type of like supporter medical vehicles or CASEVAC, obviously, that's a pretty prevalent factor here, to the point where like our medics, we can't, like, it's almost a death sentence to wear a medical patch, like openly showing that you're a medic and you were on the front line. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty brutal.
Dude.
Let me do it. I'm picking up the other one this week. End of the week.
What have you noticed from the Russian side? Like change in soldier wise, like over this last year and a half, have you noticed them getting younger and dumber and older and weaker, or have they pretty much remained about the same?
So in contrast to, I want to say that the regulars, there's like several different levels of obviously of Russian soldiers. They're conscripts, and they're kind of smart about how they do this, but their conscripts are going to be obviously the dudes from very poor areas, the uneducated, sort of the dregs of society. That group really hasn't changed that much. Typically those are made up of like Storm Z battalions, and they're either conscripts or prisoners. So they're meat waves. They're designed to die. They do meat wave attacks and do assaults, or they sit in trenches and eat drones and artillery all day. Those guys have pretty much not changed. In fact, I think they're recruiting quite a bit more of those now. That's their only successful tactic if they can't use the armor or anything like that. On the back end, one thing that I have noticed, and you might have mentioned this before or talked about it already, is when we were fighting Wagner in 2022 in Bakhmut, the contrast between those guys and the regular Russian military units was insanely different. And I think a lot of that was that they were better equipped, they were better trained, they were better funded, and they were sleeping and living in much better conditions. They had the ability to come into the battlefield after being well rested, being in a rear base area, pick the spots that they wanted to, try to manipulate, take advantage of, hit those spots for a little while, help the Russian regulars out, and then pull back and regroup. And so I've noticed that a lot of that, at least here on the front line, we're not seeing so much of that anymore since Wagner has left. So, I mean, that's a good thing, in my opinion, for us at least. But we are seeing a lot more coordination between the units on the Russian regular side. And interestingly enough, especially in the Pokrov sector, we're kind of seeing a little bit more tactical caution from them in regards to, they are still sending meat waves, but they're trying not to repeat the losses that they had in, say, Bakhmut and Avdiivka, where they just storm the city and keep throwing meat. Yeah. So they're doing a little bit different tactics now. So we're seeing a bit of an evolution with that. And we're kind of waiting to see where it'll go. Hopefully it, doesn't work out for them, but we'll see how it goes. Only time will tell, I guess.
Texas wants you to know. Thanks for sharing all that, by the way. Texas wants you to know that he's got a fully stocked medic kit coming for you.
Sweet. We definitely need it.
Okay.
We definitely need it.
So fully stocked medic kit. So
Heck yeah.
I've got a feeling I'm about to figure out how to get like a shit ton of supplies to you guys, and get it out there the best as humanly possible.
Man, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I can't promise the world, but I can call favors. You know,
yeah, literally anything helps.
Yeah, there's people who like you stuck a finger up their butt for them before to make sure they're okay. You know what I mean? And then every now and then you're like, come on, buddy, it's my turn. You know, so we're gonna make that happen. Yeah, we'll give him a call.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. What else, man? What else you got over there?
Heck, man, I don't know. I guess I could talk. So a big thing, because I'm a company medic, so my primary responsibility is working and planning CASVAC and medical operations for us. And I would largely say something that I like to hit on and that I've been a part of is the developing sense of battlefield medicine over here and how it's rapidly changed since the GWAT. How we've had to really rewrite the playbook on evacuations and what's expected and where our skill focus is going to be.
Yep.
A lot of that is like, because in GWAT era stuff, we had a really relatively good chance of surviving, even if we were seriously injured, because we had, total air superiority, we had occupational control, and we could get everybody out in that golden hour evac window. And here, golden hour is practically a myth. Like you're not going to get evac'd in an hour. So that's changed a lot of our equipment loadout and training to focus more on prolonged field care and being able to stabilize casualties for long periods of time before evacuations, simply because for the first time, honestly, in history, the enemy has the ability to accurately dictate our support movement routes and CASEVAC routes with using drones, so they can really target us. And absolutely, they'll do that. They always, number one, they're always going to double tap a position. We know that, even in civilian infrastructure, whatever. But they're also going to do it on frontline positions, and they're going to wait. So they're going to bait you by hitting your guys, and they're going to hit all the evac and support assets coming in as well. And they can effectively do it. And there are answers to that. EW, having good EW systems on your vehicles, your CASVAC vehicles, they make it so that you actually make it in and out a lot better. But there's an answer to that on their side as well. They've got the fiber optic drones now, so that makes it also more difficult. There's really no way to combat those except for a shotgun, and being good.
Yeah, and good freaking luck, man. Like it's freaking nuts. Yeah, dude. I on the drone side of the house, I'm taking notes so I don't screw it up. I don't want to forget about it because I'm like, as I'm talking to you and you're saying things, I'm like, ooh, can help here, maybe, can help here, maybe, So excuse me for taking notes. You're welcome to continue to talk to people.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Let me see if I can actually go back over to the chat, get the question. Sorry, I'm not super technical here.
Yeah.
See if I can't get the get the chat up here as well. Yeah, I can. Okay. Reset this.
Yeah. So if you guys need questions, I mean, also if it's a pain in the butt for you, man, like you can save your internet, and I'll just sit here and I'll read off questions for you, bro. You don't even have to worry about it.
No, you're good. You're good. I haven't been looking at the chats. Cool. I see Just Cause. He says he's a medic in school himself. That's cool, man. What
nice.
What are you focusing in, bro? Like, are you doing EMT, remote EMT, or going for paramedic, or what? Let's see. Let's see some other ones. Go back here.
Do you see Bubba Peas? Did that come through for you yet?
Let's film. It's open.
What is it?
It's fucking a bag full of grenades.
Okay. I've been handed a bag full of grenades for some reason. I don't know
why. Because, I mean, you're Tim Kennedy. That's who you are. My bad. Shit. Man. Did you guys hear about? No.
Who's gay? I didn't see Bubba P's one. Oh, Tango bro, from Nowlands. Heck yeah, bro. Nowlands. All right. I got you. Let's see. Let me see if I can get the Nowlands. Man, I miss Cafe Du Monde, bro. I haven't been there in a freaking minute. Let's see. I got like, I don't know. I don't know if you guys are watching the video or not. I'm not sure. This is the Belgian one, I think. These are actually pretty nice. It's like super lightweight. And that's not very good lighting in here, sorry. But they're really, they have like a plastic coated steel. And let's see, check this one out. These are defensive grenades, an impact grenade. You can't really see it very well. It's a Russian one. But these, pull the pin on these and then throw it, and it detonates on impact. Therefore, defensive type stuff. That's always good to have, especially when you're expecting a counterattack. Let me see, a standard M67 here as well. I don't know why I was given these, but whatever.
I mean, you show them off to the camera and be like, here's some grenades. You guys want to see some cool shit? Here's some grenades. Who sees Russian grenades all the time, you know?
Yeah, standard F1 grenade here. I think this is an F1. Yeah, these are F1s. That's typically what we get issued. As you can see, we have a huge mix of We have a huge mix of different weapon systems here, so it's very interesting to see it. I've operated both AK platforms and AR platforms here. We're currently running ARs, but I kind of prefer AKs now, to be honest, simply because they're just more reliable in the mud. When you're sitting in a trench getting your weapon covered in mud, reliability pays off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's people in here. They're asking, I see people asking, do you need tourniquets? Do you need abdominal bandages? All the above, whatever you can get.
Yeah, absolutely, we do. So all of the typical IFAC, CLS level stuff, it's in constant need here. So as much of that as we can get is absolutely needed. And it's like, okay, so say we even have a big stockpile of it. For example, last year in the 59th, like when we started out doing assaults, we had almost a storeroom full of enough to last guys for like 6 months of, say, operations with minimal casualties. And in about a month and a half to 2 months of doing assaults, we had used the majority of that stuff, simply because it's never one injury when you're on the battlefield here. It's multiples, always, all the time. It's never going to be one hit. It's always it's going to be shrapnel, and shrapnel is the number one killer out here. So being able to patch up multiple injuries, it takes puts a pretty good strain on your medical supplies, and being able to get those refilled here, largely from NGOs. The military, they do give us some stuff, but most of our donations, most of the stuff that we operate with is largely donated. And even on the military level, for the most part, even the military, the government itself is reaching out to NGOs to crowdfund and bring this stuff in, because there's just such a supply shortage of it.
Yeah, dude, that was like probably one of the things that pissed me off the most. Was I remembered, I mean, it's over a year ago now, which is wild to think about. But like talking to dudes, and they're like, bro, like this artillery position got like 3 shells on resupply.
Oh yeah.
And they're not even HE. They're like smoke rounds. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. Like, you've got to be kidding me. So
it's wild. It really is. And it's the difference between conventional warfare, near peer or peer-to-peer conventional warfare versus, occupational warfare. And it's kind of interesting in the sense that we're having to pull a lot of our doctrine and a lot of our training from stuff that was in, World War II and Korea, because we haven't really had much of a full-scale war since then. A little bit, give or take, but those are like the 2 last large near-peer or peer-to-peer conventional wars that we were in the West. So a lot of our doctrine's coming from that, and we're having to adapt it, obviously, given the modern battlefield twist.
Dude, I love to try to explain this concept to people, because like I guess if you haven't been there, like, you don't get it, dude. Even like cave diving for ISIS and shit, like we still had a buttload of air support, you know what I mean? And like then you can take that and be like, dude, that I would rather do that than be an infantry troop or like a grunt over there.
Right.
But I would rather be an infantry troop or grunt in Afghanistan versus being a freaking frontline dude over in Ukraine right now, because of just how shitty the situation is, like going over to assault those. And you try to explain that to people of like what it is that you guys are actually up against, and the fact that you are still continuing to move forward and knock these dudes out. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, man, it certainly is a grind. I'll tell you that. Like, when it comes to foreigners and doing assault operations, it's actually very difficult to sustain not just equipment but also personnel. We don't really have the ability to maintain the personnel numbers, considering how much we're going to lose, and that's numbers. It's 1 to 3. It's 3 to 1. It's going to take three assaulters to knock out a defender, and that's just statistics. And we're pretty good. We've definitely done better than average on those numbers, but eventually it gets down to the point where it's now we're just recycling dudes who are freshly injured because we have nobody else to go, and it gets difficult at times. But we've definitely recouped quite a bit, and I'm thinking and I'm thankful this year that we're going to be operating a little bit differently. So that's nice.
What percentage of the dudes that you're out there currently operating with that have been injured within that company previously?
So I think injured, yeah. So I'm pretty sure that given the original company, whenever I got there, we had taken over 100% casualties, injury wise. And so that comes into play when we have guys. Now, obviously, not every casualty is going to be a bad one, right? You might just have some minor shrapnel, and it's not bad. So that being said, but still, it's still an injury. And then some people obviously get messed up a little bit more. But you come back, you recoup, you take your recovery time, and then you go back out and you fight again. So we're always looking for anybody who knows anything about drones, FPV course stuff.
Bro,
and
we're
Max,
getting jammed right now.
We're getting jammed?
Yep. They just killed the stream.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, I think we're live. I think we're back. We're good. We're good.
I shouldn't be recruiting on YouTube, I guess.
I mean, you're not recruiting. You're giving information. That's not recruiting. And I'm saying, hey,
sure.
If people want to help you guys, where can they help you? That's not recruiting. Recruiting's hey, bro, I need you.
Yeah.
I'm asking you and saying, if people were willing to do that, where would they go? That's totally different. And so maybe you should say that again because somebody felt like jamming the channel. And then as you do that, because I've been streaming for 3+ hours straight already, I need to go take a piss. So after you explain, so I'm gonna have you hold it down for me while I walk away real quick. Now,
no worries, I got you.
The other question that they asked, which I think would actually be fun to explain to them, they want to know about the defensive hand grenade. The defensive hand grenade with the all-way acting fuse on.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem.
All right, man.
So, I got you. All right. So what I was saying earlier, I'm not sure if you guys all heard, but if you wanted to join Chosen Company, you can check out our Instagram page or you can check out our website. On there, it should have links to an email or an application form that you can fill out. And if it's something if you guys are a fit and it's something that we can use you and we can put you in a good spot and get you to work, then we'll reach out to you and let you know. That also lists all of our prerequisites and everything that we kind of require from people that we are looking to bring in and have work with us. All right, so to come in on that one about the defensive grenade. So I'm not sure. I think those are a Bulgarian design. I'm not entirely sure, but those are more specifically designed for their impact frag grenades. So they have a special fuse that when you pull the pin and release the spoon, as soon as you release the spoon, I think it's 1 to 2 seconds after that, it arms. And then whenever it hits something solid, it'll impact or it'll detonate. So those are designed for close quarters or defensive grenades. Say if you have somebody moving on your position, they're within grenade range, or maybe you're overwhelmed. Those are the ones that you want to go for because that does not give those dudes the chance to pick that grenade up, throw it away, or even to dodge it. As soon as it impacts and hits next to them, it's going to explode. So that's a specifically designed grenade. That's why we call it more of a defensive grenade if you're holding off dudes. And sometimes we carry those out. Sometimes we get them. It's pretty random, some of the stuff that we get depending on our kit. But if we have them in there and we know, say we're going on assault or if we're doing a trench defense position, or maybe even having a small team move out where they might have to defend themselves from and a larger force, that would be something that we'd probably be carrying in our kit. Let me see here. I'm going to try to go back through some of these questions here and see if I can't pick some up. Sorry, you guys are awesome, and you're throwing a lot here. I'm just trying to catch up with some of it. Let's see. As for the Mad Dog 2020, no, sir, I don't think we can do that. They don't allow alcohol on the front line, so I'd have to keep it back in my apartment and keep. But appreciate you looking out, man. That would be cool. Let's see. Trying to find some questions here. Educational. Piss away. Lower the requirements for joining the fight. Okay, just did that one. Can you use fiber optic drones? Yeah. So we can use fiber optic drones. There's something that's in our arsenal. They're a little bit different than typical drones. Obviously, you have to operate them a bit differently. I haven't been through the school myself, but I've just heard kind of like what guys are kind of learning while being through that course. Impact grenades are OP in the Tarkov game. I actually have not played Tarkov. I would like to. I should probably get into that. I have heard about it. Everyone here seems to play it. Let's see. And that's when the stream crashed. Yeah, so about Krasnov and Trump and them cutting the Starlink. I had read that, and well, I mean, to be honest, if that happened, that would be a pretty significant blow to Ukraine. I really hope that they don't do that. That is largely how we have communication on the front line or even in remote areas, where just to like keep in contact, not just for operational stuff, but just for everyday stuff as well. Plus, the Russian signal intelligence is incredibly good. So, like most of the time, when we're operating in the front, we're not using like personal phones or anything like that, just to kind of really reduce our digital footprint when we're out here. So yeah, that's a big part of it as well. I really hope that they don't cut the Starlink. I don't think that they will. And I also read that I think the EU is developing a alternative to that. So maybe that would be an option if they did.
Dude, did you guys ever get those freaking offensive hand grenades from the US? Like, did those ever get sent over there? Did you come across them? Like the big black ones. It's just like TNT with a freaking plastic shell on them. They're garbage. It's like 1 pound of TNT. It's about like
oh, okay. So yeah, it's just supposed to cause like overpressure, right?
Oh no, I mean it's just a pound of TNT. It's just a really loud boom for when you're assaulting and shit. And if it hits, like there's no frag, it's just TNT. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. No, we didn't. I don't think we've been issued those at all, but it's kind of stop bomb. So we take like a nonstop container. I don't have one here with me, but it's basically just about it's a nonstop is an energy drink here, and it's about the size of a normal Monster can. Say, we'll take the top off of it and we pack it full of RDX and put a grenade fuse in there. So it ends up being about 2 kilograms of RDX in that thing, and those are really good for clearing bunkers, overpressuring bunkers, and getting dudes to come out of them. Because
2 kilos of RDX. What is, dude? That's like 2.4.
It'll mess you up, bro.
It's like 8 pound TNT equivalent going into a bunker for those.
Oh yeah, it's yeah. So we've used those on trenches and bunkers and in our operations before, and it's kind of funny because like I think one of our engineers was telling me something like the safe distance to detonate one of those, according to the books or whatever, is something like 100 meters, 200 meters or something like that. And we're throwing them 20, 30 meters away in a bunker.
Oh my God.
So we have had some instances of guys non-stopping themselves, and, nobody's been seriously injured, but they've definitely got a few TBIs from it.
Happened with us.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yep. Because it started to kill the stream over on YouTube.
No.
Yep. It started
Man, what the heck, bro?
Yep. Dude, and it's happened to me before where they do this, and I know it's not what I'm pushing out because I'm pushing out 600 megs, like 600 megabytes upload. And it's like, your bit rate's not like, no, they're effing with it. It's pissing them off.
Oh.
Yeah. And
they really don't like us. I'm sure they don't like you either. So that's just a double whammy for them.
No, they absolutely hate me. And I look forward to continuing to tell them to eat a bag of dicks on a daily basis.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Anywho, all right, we got Jacob Neighbor came in, become a true sport. Good for you, Jacob. Hey, go over there. We just put up a link in the bio, or not a link in the bio, whatever. My brain's fried, man. too long of a stream. Texas, can you please tell him where to get the link that I shared earlier? God, I'm an idiot. Dude, you guys are great, man. Hey, okay, so I got a great question, actually. I didn't see it.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, hey, what do you know? I switched it, and all of a sudden we're back. So, weird. Have fun finding me. Okay, so when you are underfunded, and I remember this shit from like the infantry days, like you end up like you just described that freaking RDX like energy can, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Energy drink, RDX energy drink, which is the ultimate energy drink. Like, what is probably
Heck
like
yeah.
your favorite improvised thing that y'all have done that just is like, oh, that's nice. I love this little improvised deal here.
Man, I have to say it probably is the nonstop because that's
Really?
just a lot of fun. But yeah, it really is. But a lot of the stuff, actually, interestingly enough, a lot of the drone stuff that we do is largely improvised. There's not, because, you know, up until 2022 or whatever, these were all hobby drones, right? So you see a ton of improvisation stuff, like when it comes to the drone stuff. A lot of it is just like factories that are 3D printing, you know, munitions even. Like, so some of the munitions they'll use are just like steel cut pipes with a pineapple cut on the sides filled with explosives. And those are obviously better for like infantry and stuff like that. So you'll see a ton of improv stuff when it comes to the drone side of things. So that, I mean, I'm just kind of, I've got my toe in the water on that. That's not really my forte. But it also, yeah, so like the nonstops, a lot of the drone stuff, we've actually came up with like a quick trench system that we wanted to create as well, which was just like steel. I think it was like 2x2 steel square pipe that was just welded down into a spike at one point, so we could fill that full of RDX, ram it in the ground, and create a hasty fighting position with that. That's
Nice.
when the ground is. Yeah, so that's another thing as well. Being able to, but it's also about what you can carry, because like, man, being able to move on the front line is pretty difficult. So like having like all of this in your backpack, you have to like, it goes back to that less special forces operator mentality about your kit loadout and more about long-term sustained ability, you know, to what you can bring into the fight. So more back to like the traditional infantry role of a light infantryman in that regard. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of crazy for me, man. Like when I started seeing some of the stuff that like Texas was putting together as far as like rigs and whatnot go.
Oh yeah.
There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm opening it up, and hopefully you're going to be able to hear them. You should be able to.
Okay.
To actually talk to people, man. So
sweet.
Yeah. So I'm going to put up. They're going to come up. You should be able to hear them. If not, I'm just going to have to relay it. It's just is what it is. But you should be able to.
Yeah,
so
no
we're
worries.
gonna give it a run. Texas, can you say something to make sure he can hear you?
Yeah, let's see. Can you hear me, Tango?
Do you hear him?
No, I do not.
He does not, brother. Oh, you know what I need to do?
Dang.
Hold on. No. I got this. Watch. I got this. I got you, bro. I bet you can now. Texas, say something.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear him? Hold on. It
Nah,
might be
nah.
I have to do audio. Hold on. There might be an audio tab on here. I'm screwing up. I can do a presentation, but I can't share audio on this. This is getting annoying. I swore you could. All right. Well, that's annoying. No, Texas, he cannot hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, that's.
I can try to download
Thinking
Discord
how I
at some
can bring
point in the
him
future.
up
Maybe I
the
could jump in on that, or
then he can be live on
and
YouTube.
check that out. I'm not sure if I have it on this phone. I got a new phone recently, so.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to jump out on there because they're stepping all
Black
over you
Casty,
and back
or-
and forth. But yeah, bro. I mean, yeah, we can get chosen a link to the Discord or whatever and go that.
Yeah, no
It's
worries.
easy. It's well, shit. Texas can give it to you guys, man. That way you guys can come in and talk and do whatever you guys need to do, so we can continue to knock this
Yeah,
shit
for
out.
sure.
All right. So, what else besides, dude? What was it? You said okay. So you're from Louisiana. Is that right? Like you said you haven't been there in forever.
I'm from Texas.
Well, yeah,
I'm
but-
from Texas. Yeah. No,
Well,
I haven't been to Cafe Du Monde. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody else or me? My bad.
I don't. Wasn't me. You good, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. I can hear you.
Okay. Now you're good, brother.
Yeah, no, I haven't been to. So this time around, I think in March. Yeah, in March actually, it'll be a year since I've been back to the States.
Like, does it even seem like home when you go back, or is it just
Nah,
like
not
weird?
really. I mean, it's so strange. Like, cause I'll go back home and you know, I see my friends and my family and stuff, and I don't really do anything too crazy. I just travel around and I see my friends, my brothers and sisters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back home is strange because like even like crossing the border and just getting into Poland where I know there's peace and there's like airplanes and stuff just like flying everywhere and there's not a curfew. It's kind of strange. And then obviously going back home to normal life and just like kind of just the conversations that you pick up or like people that you talk to people about, it's just completely different there. And it's weird to me that like, you know, I know that this massive effort here to defend Ukraine is happening, but then when I'm back home, I'm like, oh, my biggest decision today is like, what am I going to get for dinner? Or, you know, what time am I going to go to the gym or something like that. So it's a very stark contrast. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like that whole thing, man. Like, it's funny, man, because I realized it hanging out with the dude last night, and I haven't been over there in 2 years. I think was the last time I was in Ukraine. Like it like May of 22, I think was when I was over there last.
Oh yeah,
or something around there. I don't know, plus or minus. But anyways, this I'm like hanging out with this other dude that was over there. He went over there, I think, like a year after me as well. But we're like sitting there talking, and it's like it's kind of weird. Like nobody else like that is here in the States you can actually talk to and relate to. That is got to be so much worse for you guys when you go back, either to the U.S., Canada, or wherever the hell you know the guys are from over there. But it's like nobody, bro, nobody. Like that is where you've been living. Like that is your life. You've got a wife there. I mean, you planted freaking stakes, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I came here, like I moved here to move here before the war. It wasn't just like a vacation for me or anything. Like it was my plan to live here.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not going to let just some shitty dictator kind of affect that. Yeah. So like, but yeah, it is kind of weird, I guess, coming back, like, cause I did Iraq as well. And coming back from that, it was also kind of weird. Just even other vets and stuff like that. Yeah. It was difficult to kind of talk to other people about that. So I guess I kind of learned to get around it a little bit better. So it's not super hard for me. I just sort of compartmentalize a lot of that and do my own thing. And I know typically, like most people, they don't really want to talk about that stuff. Nobody in the US, especially, like they're all about being positive and having good vibes and stuff like. And I am too. I like that as well. But so it's not really a topic I bring up unless somebody will really kind of ask me about it and is kind of interested in it. I might mention it, but I also just kind of try to keep that, you know, mostly to myself. And like my mom and my sister will ask about it. And it's funny because like they've traveled a little bit, you know, and my mom's always super curious about like, oh, like does Ukraine have like movie theaters? Or do they have cows? Do they have this? And it's just kind of funny. I'm like, well, yeah, it's, you know, it's a normal country. Like they have kind of everything that we have. It's just a little bit different.
It's different. Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to see the perspective difference of talking with Americans and Westerners about it. They'll ask a lot of questions, and because you know in their minds, from what they see on the war, it's like the whole country is just completely destroyed,
right.
And like, you know, war has ravaged every single piece of it. And it's like, you know, people are living normal lives for the most part, aside from the threat of rockets and air raid attacks and stuff in places like Kyiv and Lviv and Dnipro and all the places that aren't on the frontline areas are relatively normal, aside from a few things.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a weird thing, and also something that really was a big difference for me, especially given the GWAT, was like, you know, when we're soldiers in the US, we go to deploy, we have a very clearly defined boundary of like what is wartime and what is not, what is home.
Yeah.
So like we deploy for a year, 9 months to a year, whatever, and then that's operations, that's war, and then we come back and we have home.
Yeah.
And here it's really different because, like, you know, even where I'm at now, I can go to the front line and fight like tomorrow, and then come back, go on leave, drive 3 or 4 hours, and be in a completely normal city. So there's much less of a clear boundary here for that, and it's kind of strange.
Dang, dude. Just I mean, I'm just rolling it over in my mind. Do you guys need an 18 Chuck over there? Would that help you out?
Hell yeah, we do. We're always up for 18 series.
Okay. All right. I'm rolling it over in my mind. I've had some recent life changes that have freed me up a little bit. You know what I mean? And some volunteer work's always pretty good. So.
Heck yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Well, you do get paid. It's not a lot, but you do get paid, so that's good. That is nice.
You know how this is how jacked this is, and I really, really messed up. I've got a friend that literally, in order to get some of the volunteers paid over there, this is how jacked up it is. To make sure some of the volunteers that came over to sign up and go fight with Ukraine, to make sure they were getting paid, actually had to crowdfund a load of money, despite everything that the previous administration was giving out and everything else. It's just not there. It didn't make it.
Right.
Didn't even make it.
Yeah, it is weird. And I'm seeing a lot of that too with the discrepancies, kind of what Zelensky has said about, especially recently with these talks about signing over deals for mineral rights, the U.S. asking for something like $500 billion in return for essentially $89 billion or something that they donated. I know that largely that was the amount that went in, but a lot of that got circled back to the States to provide for, obviously the recouping of the weapons they were sending over.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's a kind of it's a fallacy in the media that they've been just sending all this money to Ukraine. It's just this big cash system, and largely it's not cash at all. It's military aid, it's lethal aid. And it's even to the point where it's not even a lot of non-lethal aid. So the U.S. is not really given a lot of humanitarian aid as well. So, yeah, it's not like we're all just getting a bunch of cash and it's just rolling into the country. I know people kind of have that misperception, but it's not. It's in the form of HIMARS and howitzer shells. Hey, Ryan, how much does a HIMARS missile cost?
I don't know, a couple $100,000.
Yeah, a HIMARS missile is a couple $100,000. So refitting those for the air defense, and they're launching hundreds of rockets at Ukrainian capitals every day. So
dude, I remember
I
remember in Afghanistan, just to freaking soften up this HLZ for 3 or 4 days, it was 3 days in a row, man. It's just HIMARS, just ripping out. Just ripping to soften that up. And that's for jihadists that were deeply embedded. You know what I mean? And we're just ripping them left and right. And so when I hear those numbers and I see what's out there, it's a different perspective that just pisses you off to a scale that you can't imagine. And
it's frustrating. Yeah.
Shit. My shit's gonna die. I need to go find my other AirPod or I'm in trouble. So if you want to stay on, you can stay on. Otherwise, I got to get up and go run. If you want to talk to people, if you want to do anything, I don't know, man. It's totally up to you. But my batteries are about to be
I'll probably, I'm good. I'll probably call it for the night, man. But it's been really great talking with you, and I appreciate you having me on. Hopefully, we can do this again sometime in the future. That would be great.
We are, like I said, I'm now in a much more stable environment and much more open.
Okay, yeah.
To be able to do a lot more things
for sure.
So that makes my life a hell of a lot easier. And let's fucking kill Russians and save lives. Let's do that.
Hell yeah, bro. All right, man. Be good. Take it easy.
You too, brother. Later, man.
Later.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Woo. Here's what we got. We've got one hell of a stream today, and I really hope y'all enjoyed it. I mean, I did. Everything on me is starting to die, so I've got to back out, and I need to take. Yeah, your AirPod just died too, Jordan. That's amazing. That means, dude, we've got a ton of people in here. You guys are great. I had so much more in store, and we're not going to let this go. Like I said, we're getting back after it. We're getting back to some of our grassroots of this channel. We're going to be taking this shit and hitting it's going to be great. Stick around, spread the word, make sure your notification bells are turned on because it's going to be a hell of a day, ladies and gentlemen. Hell of a day. Next hour, Matt. Dude, it's only, what time is it now? Oh, I've only been live for 3.5. I should go probably eat something though, guys. All right. So as always, thank you guys for your support. Spread the message. Take those links in the video, share them with all your friends. Peace, love, happiness.